So
Isn't it funny that we're completely opposite?
Oh,
like
totally
I can pick
different.
something up and be like, I have no idea why they started this. I don't know who the designer is. And she's like, it was a Tuesday. It was raining.
Hi, welcome back to Cross Stitch the Globe. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Allison.
This is a channel about cross stitch, and this is our 2024 year in Wip Parade. We're very excited. We told you guys it was going to be in a week, but then I realized that meant I'd be editing a Wip Parade on my daughter's second birthday. That made me feel like a bad mom, and so I was like, "Hey, can we do it this week?"
Also, what you would not have time.
I would So I was just like, and normally I would just be like, okay, well that one will come out a day late. The next day is Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And the next day after that's Christmas, and that's also why it wasn't so she was born on the 23rd because that's what the doctor decided. She was going to be born, and I didn't really have a say about it. So it just is what it is. But adding a Wip Parade editing to an already chaotic birthday / holiday weekend, not fun. So we're doing it today. So you get it a week early. If you are not subscribed to our channel, subscribe. We have a really cool extra coming out on Thursday about how to use the shop app to use your shop cash for cross stitch discounts that we just recorded. That was really fun to record.
Yeah.
And we realized it took longer to explain than we thought it would.
There were more steps than I thought because she had to explain from the very beginning.
So
I don't shop.
I
had no clue.
So if you're not subscribed, subscribe, because that one's going to come out. And then next year we're going to our most expensive series is going to come out again in January. We're going to update for this year's numbers.
If you watched last time, the numbers are mind blowing.
Yeah, and if you didn't watch last time,
go watch it.
I'll link to it in the description so then you can see how it changed for this year.
That will be so fun.
It will be really fun.
Especially since we both decided to dive in last year.
Yeah, and last year we were not, I don't think we were judgy last year, but we were more just like, this exists. And now we're both stitching things from that list. So we're like,
we get it now.
We didn't pay for them at that. We didn't pay or we bought them for not those prices, or they were lent to us or gifted to us. But we still are like, oh, we have less room to talk now. But also, I'm so excited to see what's going on. All right, so
my reactions will still be genuinely shocked that these numbers exist, but I'll get it. People want that. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what some of the re-releases did to the market.
Right.
It'll be interesting. So before we dive into the shopping, I just want to say, my attitude
shopping.
Okay. Before we dive into the whips, I just want to say that my attitude about a lot of my whips has changed in the last couple months in a way that I've told you guys my life has been lifing and I couldn't really talk about it. Well, my husband and I decided to separate 2 months ago, and then there was some not on my part, but on his part, some waffling of anyway. So, but now he is officially, we have told the kids. So, and only one of our kids has the comprehension level to understand it and doesn't really get it. But now that we told the kids, I'm not so worried that they might accidentally overhear me editing a video saying that I'm separated and be like, what is that?
Yeah.
But I still don't want to talk about it in a lot of videos. So what I'm going to do is I thought I would just say it right here because it is good. If you've been watching this for a long time, it is now I live in a world where all of my whips can go on my walls and I don't have to run it by someone who has a totally different idea about everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm more excited for finishes now because I'm more excited to just have a home that is covered in
just you.
And the weirdest 90s stuff you've ever seen. Put it everywhere. Yeah. Things might get weird because I have more freedom.
I love that. Things might get weird.
And also that is why I revenge purchased a Lowry stand, which Allison did point out. How is it revenge against him if you spent your own money on it? That's a different situation. That is a conversation for a different time. I needed to impulse buy a Lowry stand for my mental health.
But you went for the gold on that one.
No, I went for the silver.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, jokes. We're doing this. Okay.
But also I went for the cheapest one and I used my shop cash app to get $5 off.
Nice.
So anyway, so if you've seen me and you've been like, oh, she keeps saying life is lifing, and that's what's going on, is that we separated, and I know you think for the best, but that doesn't make it not annoying and stressful and financially annoying. And anyway, so was I in the best financial position to purchase a Lowry stand? No, I was not. And so that is why I have to make a lot of videos about it so that you guys can also learn from it. So I don't have to feel guilty that it was just for me. It was for us.
Right. And I do look forward to that. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah. And then Allison also has like a $40 stand, and I thought it'd be fun to compare them once we get good at both of them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Lowry stand content that's going to be headed your way out of guilt for my impulse purchase that I did out of revenge because I am getting a divorce now. And I think that process will take a really long time. So I'll probably just say that I'm separated for a really long time because we've got immigration issues and financial, like there's a lot of stuff. But it means that I have 100% control of my walls. That means every weird little child Nora Corbett from the 90s design, I can put it wherever I want until I have like very excited about the future of my aesthetics at home.
Random thought. Did you see Mirabilia's new lady? She's put a new woman out. It's gorgeous. It's Christmas.
Oh, because it's the 15th.
I'll show you. You want to see it?
Yeah, I didn't. Oh, because it comes on the 15th and I didn't check today. 1 second. Isn't that cute? Mary. She looks almost like Joan Elliott.
The bobbles.
It's very Dickensian. It's giving Muppet Christmas Carol.
Muppet Christmas Carol. Yes.
Sure. Okay.
Sorry. Distraction.
Love her. So that's the other thing is that my husband really didn't. This is the last thing I'll say about it. My husband doesn't really like American holidays. Even the ones that he grew up celebrating are very different because he grew up in the Southern Hemisphere, and so. I love seasonal decor, but even my seasonal stitching, I didn't really need to finish it to have it out because it was kind of a battle of, not a battle, but it's weird to do things where you feel like you're making your home like more festive and that other person to be like, I would like it to be less festive, please. So,
my thoughts on that are, then what are you doing about it?
Yeah. So, I'm very happy to be like, okay, well, I will just stitch the things that I find me joy, that bring me joy, that I think the kids will like. And then I think we'll make our home like cozy and happy, and then they'll have a different experience with him, and that's great. But for me, I don't have to be so much like, well, I love it, but it can be live as a whip forever because where would I put it anyway? I can be like, well, of course that like Paula Vaughn is going in my living room. Like, of course. Why not? I love it.
Why not?
So, and also like normal things. Right. Like, not that her stuff is normal, but it's just very 90s. And I'm very excited.
Any of my decor is normal. Yeah. I don't think you can.
Well,
that's pretty normal. That's from my grandmother.
This is from our grandmother's house. So to me, it's normal, but I don't know if other people are like, what's a brass wall hanging doing?
Yeah.
But actually, I was watching Stitch at Speed, Audrey, and somebody made a comment about her not having stitching behind her. And I just was like, I told her, I was like, Allison's house is full of cross stitch. She's been stitching for 7 years. Her entire bedroom wall above her bed is different stitch full coverages. And she has no stitching right here. Like what you see in the background isn't indicative of what someone's home looks like as far as cross stitch goes. And like, also like you only see right above the couch. You would have to have a gallery wall of cross stitch to see it because otherwise you wouldn't put it centered right where your heads are. Yeah. Now I moved into my house this summer and have set up an office specifically with the idea that sometimes I'll be filming cross stitch stuff there, and it's nice to have it on display. But this is your living room,
and we're very minimalistic. Yeah, and this is the most minimalistic space.
So like I'm looking at Yule Goddess. I'm looking at Christmas deer, Yule deer.
Oh, that's from the Bobble book.
I'm looking at a December Stitches. I'm looking at a Satsuma Street Christmas. I'm looking at a Mirabilia Mermaid, but you guys can't see it. But Allison's house is, so, Yeah. Anyway, so, all right. That's what's going on with me. In the future, I might, if I ever need to, I'll just say, like, if you want to know what's going on, like, why I'm so excited to have cross stitch in my life.
Why are you so happy now?
Okay. So we're going to cut out a little bit of the sisterly banter but yes, I don't think it's a coincidence that I have thought my hair looked better in the last month. Yeah. Like just besides just it not being summer anymore, but like, anyways, I feel really good, but also it's made me way more excited about finishing whips, which means some of the whips that it's also made me question like some things like, okay, well now that I can do whatever I want, is that really what I want in my house or do I want something? So I'm more excited about my whips than ever, but also I
would still do the commentary on like this. I'm definitely keeping this, or I'm thinking about maybe doing something else.
But now it's more like if it doesn't serve me or my kids, then I don't need to serve like a Venn diagram of his and my opinions because we don't need to do that anymore. So, all right, sounds good. Okay, let's dig in. I have 61 whips and Allison has 17.
Yeah. Actually, let me count. I forgot. And that way we can do it even. Oh, that's fine.
Okay. So that means I have 4 times the number of whips Allison has. And the first whip parade we did, it was 1 to 2, and then it was 1 to 3. Now it's 1 to 4. It may be 1 to 10 at some point. We're unclear. Because what I've decided is that Laura from Stitching by the Shore is my personal like North Star, and I'm not going to care because I have an entire house. If I want to store whips under the kitchen cabinet, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I have an entire house and I get to do whatever I want, and I'm going to stitch to the things that I want that make me happy. So I'm not going to be embarrassed about having 61 whips. And if I come back next year and I have 122 whips, I won't be embarrassed about that. But I probably won't because I do also want to finish more things now. I don't want to just start things and have them.
And if you haven't heard her plans, go look at the plans.
And also, that explains the plans because there's no way I could have put up Village of Hawk Run Hollow in my living room without a fight. Okay? That is not a common aesthetic that we shared. It is my aesthetic. So part of why my plans are ambitious towards the finishing big things is because now I have the like now that is like actually getting some of this stuff up on the walls like for me to appreciate is without having to like run it by a committee of people with different tastes than me. So that's part of why my plans seem a little bit ambitious, but way more tilted to let's get some stuff done. And it means I won't touch everything here this year.
I already know I won't.
Yeah.
Because I didn't this year.
Yeah. So anyway, so if you didn't see our 2025 plans video, that is why I decided to do a Hawk Run Hollow in 6 months because I want Hawk Run Hollow up on my wall. Now, I was going to start Huckleberry Farm the day he moves out of remembrance of the day that we had a very stressful day at Glacier National Park that involved huckleberries that I think he ruined. But anyway, okay. I decided I'm not. I'm still going to start it next summer because I got a lot of other stuff on my plate. But I'm just... Anyway.
That's one less December birthday you have to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah. Although
I mean, financially for your kids.
I still have to help them get presents. Yeah.
But they can make things.
Yeah. Yeah. Handprints. Okay. Let's dive in. Okay. So anyway, 1 to 4. Again.
You start.
Yeah. And I'm going to be very careful. Make sure he would never watch this video, but I'm going to make sure he doesn't see it and my kids don't see this. This is a safe space. And 99% of you are women, according to our analytics. So, and though a few of you that aren't, I probably know personally. So, like, this is a safe space. And then I will not be talking this flippantly in the future because I don't want my kids or him to have feelings about it. But it's just for today. I'm happy. Okay, 1 to 4. So you're gonna go first.
Am I going first?
You're gonna do 1, and then I'm gonna do 4. And then you're gonna do 1, and then I'm gonna do 4. Brandy at Beanie Stitchery had 40, and Emma has like I think less than 10, maybe or 15. And Brandy did all 40 like in a row, like in like 20 minutes. That's not what's gonna happen.
That's a lot.
But you saw the timestamp, and you knew what you were gonna do.
Right.
All right. So 1.
All right.
Mine are in alphabetical order for my own purposes. Allison's are in random order.
Random. Totally random.
But every pattern will be listed in the description. So if you like something, they're all listed.
This is Red Christmas. I started it. I think I started it in November.
You restarted it.
It is a restart. I originally started it in some funky colors that I regretted almost immediately. So this is now, the original has it in 2 shades of red, and I just went with 1. So this is 321 DMC, which is my favorite Christmas red. And I believe this is an 18 count Adia, antique Adia, or vintage.
Looks like ivory-ish, but
it could be.
But
it was literally in my stash. That's why it got used. But I was thankful I had something this tiny thread counter below because this is huge.
Yeah,
that's
huge.
on 18 count.
Yeah,
it fits. But
it's huge.
My, but it's a lot of fun and I really like it.
What's it called?
Red Christmas. This is the bag it goes in. I like
Allison makes most of Allison's bags are canvas bags that she has stitched motifs on, and we have a video I'll link into the description on how she does that. Red Christmas. So I will link to the video on how she does the canvas bag stitching. Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
She was like, last night we went on this Victorian walk, and afterwards at my house, she was like at my house, like just like flying through it off a paper pattern.
Yep.
Like it's 1985. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, before I met you in cross stitch world, that's all I used.
Before I met you in the cross stitch world, you didn't know about Flosstube.
That's
you
true.
didn't know about Hello from Liz Matthews. You
That's
didn't
true.
know about Prairie Schooler.
I'm just saying.
I just made your
some
life.
habits are good.
I made your life better.
I know.
You taught me that there was cross stitch, and I taught you that there was other kinds of cross stitch. All right, so my 4. Now the Mirabilias I'm going to go through kind of fast because we just did a Mirabilia Wip Parade. So if it was, and I'll link to it. So if it was a Mirabilia that I showed in that parade that hasn't been stitched on since, there's not a lot new to add. But this is, and I wanted to in November hit all of them, but then again, I'm in the middle of being separated, and so like, life has been not as stitchy lately. Okay, so this is Adia the Garden Fairy by Mirabilia. This is an out of print pattern. I'm stitching her on Garden Party by Bestitch Me.
I really like this. She's
ghosty right now, but the way the pattern goes, she won't be by the time. And maybe I'll just have a whole Mirabilia wall.
You could do that.
And maybe my bedroom will just be like...
That would be really pretty. You could do it around, like, over your bed. Like,
yeah.
In a shape or something.
She lives in this Lake House Stitch Co. tea party bag. All right.
Very cool.
That was number 1 of 61.
Buckle For those who are counting.
Number 2.
That'd be funny. We need to put like a tally thing on there.
Okay, so when Allison and I were making the thumbnail and we were trying to decide what to hold up, I picked this kind of as a joke because I didn't want to, like, my stash is in alphabetical order, so I didn't want to get too into it. And it also, the colors match. But also, this is hold your red crystal. Oh, you put it away. This is an accurate representation of, for every whip of Allison, she's 80% through. I am 10% through a 66,000 piece.
I'm not going to say
sampler.
Anything. I have some that look like.
Well, what I was thinking is if my Hawk Run Hollow experiment goes well, then maybe in 2026, this is what I do that for that. So this is Alyonushka's Alphabet by OwlForest Embroidery. I'm stitching it with the OwlForest thread pack. And I'm stitching it on 36 count light mocha by Zweigart 1/2. And it is crazy to me how hard it is for me to see 40 and how easy it is for me to see 36. Like I have no problem seeing this, but I haven't been pulling it out. I had a plan for the year that involved pulling this out every Friday, and then that did not happen. And it's not on my plans for next year. So I think what's going to happen is also there are some pieces that were like started for sentimental reasons about our family, like the day that me and my husband moved from Bulgaria. But I have a lot of other reasons to love this piece and also to celebrate still the day we left Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Because my son was with us and stuff. So I'm still going to stitch this one, but there are a couple things I didn't mind not putting this year in stitches into, like my kids' stockings and stuff. It's like, let's wait till we're in a little bit
settled.
Yeah. And then because, I'm a person where I remember every single thing about, if I look at a piece, I look at the piece, but I also remember the experience around it. So
isn't it funny that we're completely opposite?
Oh,
like
totally
I can pick
different.
something up and be like, I have no idea why this started this. I don't know who the designer is. And she's like, it was a Tuesday. It was raining.
Soft jazz was on the radio. All right, listen, this Carrie. So it's for you.
Very cute.
Bag. All right, number 3, Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs.
Oh, I love that.
Everyone's stitching this because it's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, so I started it this year. I didn't get that much, but I love it. I'm stitching it with the called for Gentle Arts threads, except for Garden Gate was out, so I subbed Tin Bucket.
I am on a roll. Oh my gosh.
I subbed Tin Bucket for the Garden Gate, and so it's like a gray. It's like a gray on gray instead of a grayish brown on gray. I like it.
It looks great.
It's on 28 count Boneyard by Bestitch Me.
I also love that fabric.
This is another one where like he'd be like witches. So I'm very excited that whenever this does come out at Halloween, it'll be a house full of people who love Halloween. Yay. It lives in this Carrie Sews For You bag. And I love it. Oh, I'm stitching. I will show you. I have a vintage hoop parade that I'll link to. I love vintage hoops. I will show if I have a hoop in the bag, I'll show you. But a lot of these projects that haven't been stitched in this year don't have hoops in the bag anymore because I pulled them out for that parade. But I'm using a Gibbs Company spring hoop. All right. That was number 3. Number 4. I love this one.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, now I can have cats up everywhere.
Yay.
I'll just become a cat lady.
That would be so awesome.
I am a dog person, like for sure, but this
You
is
should make the next one look like Frankie.
it's Black Cat season.
All thing is called Black Cat Season?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's Black Cat season by Lindy Stitches. And I started this year. I bought the like kit from Lindy Stitches, or this like it was all listed separately, but I basically bought the kit. And this is 32 count Blackberry Latte by Greystones. Isn't that so pretty? And also, I thought when I got this piece that it was like it would be in the middle, but it's actually so small in the sewing instructions that I'm gonna have.
This is called not a fat.
This is a skinny quarter.
Skinny quarter.
Yeah. If you are like, what is a fat quarter? What's a skinny whatever? We have a video explaining like the different cuts of fabric that I'll link to in the description. But I'll have enough to stitch it twice if you want to stitch it on 32 count Blackberry Latte.
Maybe I do black and white.
But you have to. Oh, but I bought them as PDFs, so you'd have to buy.
Then yeah.
You're like, no.
No, but I really like the.
I love it. It's going to be a bell pull. I'm going to finish it exactly the way that she has it suggested in the pattern in a couple years.
Whenever it's done. And
I have the finishing pieces for it too, which are so cool. I think she actually still sells these. I'm not 100% sure, but that goes on the top of the bell pull. Isn't that cool?
That is so cute. I love it.
Oh, Jordan sat on my leg. So when I'm in my recliner, sometimes I like to sit on my leg and then make the recliner go up and down. He goes, "I'm witch brooming you." It was so cute.
Cutie.
He goes, "But it's not Halloween." I was like, "Halloween's a lifestyle."
It is.
You can do Halloween, babe. Anytime. All right. That was 4.
All right.
Oh, this is a Carrie Sews for You bag.
I have all my whips over here ironed and all my bags over there. So that was the only bag I had.
That's cool
to show you.
You show bags all the time.
I'm currently working on
and all the bag maker bags she has are the same bag makers that I have. You have a couple bags from friends, like handmade by friends.
Yeah.
But are not for sale anyway. And then you have like bags that are literally the same bag maker. So if there's not a single bag maker Allison's bought from that I haven't.
Exactly. Okay.
She's not on stretchers?
I took her down so that I could frog her.
Oh.
Okay.
Did you frog her?
Not yet.
This is Lady of the Flag.
Lady of the Flag by Mirabilia. She's almost done. The only thing I'm gonna do next is
Allison had a crisis. She got really into the beads and decided, I don't like
Can
the
you
beads.
see the beads? I just don't like it.
I like them, but I also understand
they're so sparkly and
she wants it to be a more serious,
more muted.
Yeah,
you know.
And so
I have to frog all the whole. I did all of this in beads, so I have to frog all the beads that are here, and then find. I haven't even looked up what's the conversion because
I'm sure it's
I'm
easy.
so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just like I don't want to touch it.
You could do it in like a white so that it like the vines go in white. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. If you have a suggestion,
I would just look and see if what they're converting to are threads that are already in the dress, and I would pick something different.
So it will pop, even though it's so it's different.
So it's different. Not so it will pop because you want it to be muted, but at least that it's like different.
Okay.
Or pick a gold Kreinik.
Yeah, because that has gold Kreinik in it. All these leaves are, so I could just use the leaf Kreinik and go up. I need to buy more, but that's not a big deal. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do it. I'll just replace it all with the gold.
Were you thinking still you might do like her crown and this with the beads?
I don't think so.
You're like, I don't want beads on this.
I don't think it's the right look for this, for my vision of this piece.
Yeah. And this is Forbidden Fiber Co. Prehistoric.
Yes.
16 count?
Yes.
Nice.
And I just used the called for DMCs and Kreinik.
And I'm going to stitch this when she's done with it. but not next year.
It's actually Stephanie's pattern. It is not my pattern. I borrowed it.
Well, I bought it, but I bought it for basically a gift price, and I bought it with you in mind. Like, you know, I would have bought it anyway, but like, you know what I mean? Like, we're like,
But
oh,
specifically,
yeah,
I get it
yeah,
first.
yeah.
So that's very nice.
So Allison gets
I love
if there's one paper copy and we both want to stitch it, Allison has to stitch it first because otherwise she won't get to do it for 10 years. But if she stitches it first, I get to start next year. So
yeah,
whatever. All right.
4.
Are we still doing this? This is Blackbird by Blackbird Designs. I'm stitching it on 40 count Gold Rush. I only have 2,000 stitches left, but it's 40 count, so I haven't pulled it out in a while. So this is part of the Fab 4 fan sal that we are hosting with Julie from Julian Stitches 16. And then I actually started this with on the day that Rachel from Licking Floss started hers, but she finished hers, and I have no idea, but that's okay. It'll get there.
Yeah.
The Fab 4 fan style is where you can stitch any Beatles pattern. We're stitching things from the Blackbird Designs Magical Mystery Tour series. There's also the BBD Magical Mystery Tour Sal hosted by Sarah from Sarah Stitchy Spot and Peg Coleman on Instagram. So I'm going to stitch all 6 from this series, and I have Yellow Submarine finished. I have 2 Crest Current whips, but they're just in my plans to finish this year, not like, and then I'll be starting. So this sal is going on for years. So if you want to join. It's going on for years. I'm stitching it with the Call for Espresso Bean, which I think looks really good on here.
Yeah. From here, it just looks like black, but then you get closer, you can tell.
It's like, yeah.
It's like a brown black.
Yeah. It's so pretty.
Very pretty.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like variegated black. You're like, this is so stupid. But then you see it compared to like a wall of 310. And you're like, oh no, they're different vibes.
Yeah.
But it does feel stupid spending 5 times the amount of money for something when you're stitching it feels like it's black, but then it's not black. Yeah.
I did Eleanor Rigby, but that's all I have committed to doing.
Yeah. All right. My next one is Candy, which is artwork by Erin Culpepper, charted by Whittier Stitches. This is a free Fancy Lady pattern on the Whittier Stitches Ko-Fi. She also has a pattern for sale that is a mermaid, but this one is free. And I think the colors pop on this fabric so much.
Good, yeah.
This is 28 count Dusk by Picture This Plus.
That's gonna look amazing.
And I love it. I just haven't ever like sat down to be like, when am I gonna stitch this whole thing? But like, I love her, and every time I pull her out, I'm like very happy with her.
So pretty.
So I don't have plans to finish her like this year, but I do love her, and she's only about 15,000 stitches, so it's not like it would take.
Yeah.
With dedication. She lives in this 805 stitcher bag, like fairies on it. Pretty. And
I have that pattern, but I just stitched the cat.
Yeah. Well, I have dreams of pulling her out for Fancy Lady February, but then like I have other things that I just there's
Maybe you could do like one night.
Yeah, there's gonna be a year where it'll be her turn, but it's not 2025.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is Cathedral Woods Goddess by Mirabilia. I started her in May. I didn't get to her in November, so she hasn't had any progress since May. She's on 28 count Enchanted Forest by Bestitch Me, which I just love. And she lives in this cute little bird bag, but the bag maker doesn't make bags anymore, which is sad. And I have 2 bags by her that are both just great. That was 3.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tragedy. This is the Christmasville Sampler by Heartstring Sampler. Oh, yeah. I love this. Yeah. It's on 28 count vintage light exemplar vintage exemplar, not white. It's on the called for fabric, but it's not the called for count. I'm doing it on 28 count. I'm stitching it in the Gloriana silks, and it's so beautiful. And I really don't have time to work on it for the rest of the year. If I want to finish Stitch for Pride, which I really, really do, and I can't finish this year.
When I specifically remember you saying, though, every Christmas I can pull it out.
I am going to pull it out on Christmas.
There you go.
I'm going to pull it out on Christmas Day, and get some in, but it's going to be a little while before it's on my walls.
That's okay, because
at
it'll
Christmas.
serve its purpose.
Yeah.
That was you were very
But
specific.
she's not little,
Mm-mm.
and she's so pretty. And I love her so much. And you guys, if you're subscribed to the channel, you know that Heartstring Sample really gets me when their Christmas patterns roll out.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see it next week in haul. Their Christmas patterns roll out with those lyrics on them. They get me every time in a way that no other designer gets me. Now, Liz Matthews, I also love her Christmas Carol themed stuff, but I love all of her stuff. But you see Christmas carols on patterns all the time. But for some reason, I'll fall in love with one and I'll look at it and be like, oh, that's Heartstring Sample, right? Like, oh. But I am stitching her with the Gloriana. It's the only project I have with Gloriana. And they're lovely. I think I'm not going to use the Light Effects floss for the bells.
Is that what that is? Light Effects? I haven't seen that.
It looks awful. I think I'm going to do something different because I do like how understated this piece is looking and elegant.
The color's pretty, but it does look like a nightmare.
I think I will just go into a store, like maybe at Stitch Connect Summer, and take this and go look at the fancy silks and just feel like
maybe
similar. Because I don't want to do it. It lives in this Carrie Sews Free bag. This is the first project bag I ever bought. It was $19. It's such a good deal. She was having a sale. And I love that piece so much. And
very cool. All right, my next one that has a hanging thread. That's annoying.
We haven't seen this in a while.
I know. I literally haven't brought it out since like February. So this is Another Year Creeps by Ink Circles. Which I love this pattern. I love it.
Really good. And it's very your vibe. For someone who's seen Dexter 50 times, this is very your vibe.
I freaking love this piece.
You know who's also stitching this is Joy from the Carolina Stitchers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love it. I need to get back out. What's stopping me, and I know it's this reason. This is 40 count.
Yeah.
And I am an Ada stitcher.
We were really like, we're gonna be so cool. We're gonna stitch 40 count. And they're like, oh wait, we have the eyes of 85-year-olds. Mm-hmm. It's not happening for this.
Yeah, so making myself do it is hard.
It'll be hard to finish, but like when you're done, you'll be so happy.
I will be so happy.
You're almost halfway done.
Yeah. Almost halfway.
Would you rather totally start this whole thing over again or finish the other half on 40 count?
No, I will. I will continue to do it. Yeah. It's just it's gonna be if I need to sit down because I can only do it next to a window because that's how bad my eyes are.
I can only stitch 40 count in the mornings.
Yeah, it has to be bright. Like winter is not a good season for this 40 count piece. But I just need to like tell myself Sunday morning I'm doing it before you come over. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, you should do that every You know what? I could text you like, "Hey, I'm getting ready," and you can be like, "Okay, I'm gonna stitch on."
Maybe that might be a good idea.
Because I always text you when I leave. I could text you when it's like
you're getting ready. It's called Prehistoric Fox and Rabbit.
Yeah,
this is Fox and Rabbit Prehistoric, which I find hilarious because I have two.
You don't use that much fancy fabric to begin with. Like Allison's more
I only have like 4 pieces of linen, and 2 of them are named the same thing, and are completely different colors. And it's just DMC. You'll know I like Ada and I like DMC, and that's my comfort zone.
She stitched for 6 years before she knew other things really existed. Like you see it in the craft store, but you don't know it's like and then whereas like I switched like right into linen because I only stitched for like 6 weeks before I picked up a piece of linen, and I was watching Flosstube before I ever cross stitched. So I already knew what was out there. Mm-hmm. And so it's very funny. Our journeys are just like not parallel.
Well, it's interesting because you did it so many years after I started. When I started, I didn't even think that Flosstube could be a thing because I thought I was completely alone. Like I'm going to pick up this really mature woman's hobby, and I'm 30.
And our analytics do reflect that we are still in the younger side of the demographic.
Are we? Okay. Yeah. And when I started, I was even younger, so I thought I'm definitely alone. And I taught myself how to do it because I didn't think there was anyone else. So
you're not alone, Allison. You're not alone. Think about all the people out there who love you. Now, if you're like, Allison, we haven't seen you online. Allison is going to take a hard social media break.
It has to happen.
mental health wise, she needs to just not be on Instagram for a while.
For a while.
But if you're like really missing her, I'm still gonna pop her email or her Instagram address up every time because you can still go follow her for when she comes back. But if you really need to get a hold of her, you can message me, or at some point we can maybe give out your email address if somebody's like, I really need to talk to Allison and I can't have you knowing it.
That might be fine. It's not cross stitch I'm trying to escape.
She's trying to escape programmatic ads that are
exactly
that target women in their late 30s that are quite offensive.
Very offensive.
So, and other societal ills that are on social media platforms, but specifically some targeted ads have
that were really offensive. I'm not going to repeat it, but whose idea was this?
So she's still available to you. She's just not available to the people that want women to feel bad about themselves simply for existing as women beyond age 18.
Right.
All right. So you ready for my next 4?
I did feel like, oh, my life is over now, according to society.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I'm about to live out I already had a post-divorce runaway to Europe and be single.
You've done this.
So I can't do that again because I got kids this time. But that was fun. It is fun to be single in Greece right after your divorce. It's very fun to be single in Brazil right after a divorce. That's not the kind of divorce this is going to be, sadly. But I talked to my friend. She's like, so can we go back to Brazil? But now she has 3 kids and I have 2 kids. She's like, okay, but next summer I'll be done breastfeeding. Can we go back to Brazil next summer?
Quite a plan.
Like, yeah, last time we like impulse jumped on a plane to Brazil. It's like, when will our so okay. I'm sorry if you're like in your 20s. I'm sorry for everything that you've had to endure today about life, but it's okay.
But like, prepare yourself because
yeah. Well, I think the world has kind of realized this year that women are not as respected as we thought we would be, like as if we thought we were. Mm-hmm. So, all right, this is Christmas Elegance.
Off that platform. Ready?
It's so great to get the therapy that you need for the whole year in a Wip Parade.
Yeah.
Because basically you're looking at your psyche on as stitched and all the things that like the elements of your brain that you like. You're like, oh, okay. All right. So this is Christmas Elegance. I started this for November this year with Rosanna from Bright and Dusty. Hers is on Opalescent and Purple. It's gorgeous.
Is it?
You're not going to know on Instagram what's happening on Flosstube. So I'm going to have to tell you which videos you are like, you're not allowed to skip.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think every video of Rosanna's is a no skip, but
I love those colors.
I love these colors. This is the piece of fabric that was a problem with the margin. And so I think it'll be okay, but it is going to be tight up here. And this is an out of print Mirabilia. Because unfortunately, that's what I like. I like 90s Mirabilias, and a lot of them are out of print.
Yeah. Is this an expensive out of print one?
It's like $45 to $50, depending on. Like, you can get it. It's more expensive this time of year than it is in the middle of the summer. And I think I got it for $30 or $35. Like, I think I got it when I bought it. I was like, oh, that's a little bit of a deal. I got it on eBay. If you never shopped on eBay before, you can use our eBay tips video. All right, so I love it. I haven't gotten to work on it this December, but I just put a bunch in it in November, so I'm not super pressed about it. I'd like to get it out again, but I really want to. I have 3 projects I really want finished by the end of the year, and oh my gosh, it's the 15th, so I'm getting less Christmas stitching done this year than possible than I wanted, but that's okay. Yeah, because I did just work on her all of November. It lives in this pretty southern bag, and I'm stitching her with this maybe 7-inch Duchess hoop. Oh, Allison and I in our plans talked about how at the end of next year we want master sets. We want to get all the CMC out of the bags. And when you open every project and you see 60 sets, like 50 sets of DMC, because I have some projects that don't have any DMC in it.
I was grabbing everything from bags, and then I picked up some bags that I knew were empty, and there were rings of here's
Yeah, we got to get on these master sets.
Got to get it all out of the bags.
Okay, 1, 2. No, that was number 1.
You're not counting.
Yeah, that was number 1 of this 4. Okay. My next one is Cinderella by Mirabilia. This one gets occasionally listed on eBay as out of print. It's not out of print. She's big though.
I want to do this one. I've decided.
Well, she's not out of print, so you can just get your own copy of the pattern.
I'm doing
but if you want to me to put her down and lend you the pattern, I can, because I got other things to do.
We'll see.
I mean, I don't think you're starting her this January right now. So whatever you want to start, you can just say, "Hey, Stephanie, you're not stitching Cinderella for the next 4 months." I'll be like, "Okay, I think I'll survive."
Okay.
I love her though; she's really fun. But I will not. So this is the mirror that I'm going to focus on in January, and I'll still be in this castle because I'm never leaving this castle. I live in this castle,
and it's so pretty.
It's on so 28 count. Oh, that Christmas Elegance was on 28 count Blue Spruce by Zweigart. This is 28 count Smoky Pearl by Zweigart. This is the called for. I don't remember if that was the called for, if it was like, a lot of times the vintage Mirabilia is the called for isn't even made anymore, and you're looking for approximations anyway. But this is so pretty. She's still in print, but she is one of the older ones still in print. So if you really like her, you might want to snag her if you think you're going to do her. Catherine the Needleberry Stitcher started her for your birthday. I started this for Allison's Princess birthday style last year, and that's why I'm going to pick her up again in January to work on her for your style. Catherine the Needleberry Stitcher started her last year for Allison's Princess birthday style, and she's probably going to finish her for your Princess birthday style in January. Exciting. And she is doing a color conversion on her. So I like weird old 90s things. That's what I've learned about myself. And I love this old weird French color scheme. But if you're like, I think she's pretty, but that's not my vibe, go check out the Needleberry Stitcher. Mm-hmm. And she lives in this Cinderella bag from Jasmine's custom bag that we had made for this. Oh, I had made for your birthday. This is Clandestine by Long Dark Samplers.
I love this thread.
I really love this piece. It's really pretty, but I don't love stitching it.
Is it the...
It's the symmetry of it. It's not the floss, and it's not the fabric. Because it's the pattern? This is 28 count antique white. It's that anytime you make a mistake over here, you have to fix it because it's going to be symmetrical over here. Or you have to know. So and I was stitching it Sunday night, so I would come over here and film and then go home and stitch this. And I was just too tired to do it Sunday nights and really pay attention.
Move it to a different
so what I decided was, I'm not UFOing it or anything. I am going to keep going, but probably not this year. I was going to start a big long dark sampler in September, and I was like, I'm not loving stitching this one. Why would I start another one?
Yeah.
Whereas like I love all my Mirabilia, so why not have 20? So I think it's so pretty. This this floss is by Moselle Silk, and I don't remember the name of it, but you can't get this one again.
It's one color.
It's a highly variegated, but it's so pretty. And I made a mistake. What it ended up making me quit was that I made a mistake. This is one stitch too tall, which is not a problem because it's the center motif, right? I can fudge that. But then I was just like, I'm sick of like being on the lookout all the time for. And there's the long dog sampler that I'm starting. The big one that I have is not symmetrical. I just need to not buy symmetrical things because that have so much going on that I won't remember by the time I get to the other side. Like or where you can't fudge it because you don't know how it will actually impact the rest of it. But I think it's so pretty, and I'm not quitting it. I haven't stitched it since probably February, and it's not in my plans for. So in 2025, the way my plans are going to work is like some of the pieces are in categories, and I don't know which piece in the category, so it could come out. Like I might decide to, but I probably won't. Now this is holding all the floss I bought for my big one. And I'm not gonna dekit it.
What color is the fabric? Do you have one?
The fabric, it'll just be on antique white. But I gave that fabric to another project because I was like, I don't need to wait. Yeah. Well, it'll be like I can get another piece of antique white when I'm ready for that one.
Sure.
But the big one I want to do is the pilgrim because I love like literal pilgrimages. So this is what I really want to do. I want to save that pattern. When my kids are old enough that I can go leave them for like 6 weeks, like at a camp or with the.
Oh, I was like, where are you leaving these children?
With Valerie, or maybe their dad. Their dad decides to like do something big for the summer, and I have like 6 weeks. Sure. So I've walked 10 days of the Camino de Santiago. I would love to go back and do the full. Well, there's no full one, but I would love to go back and do the one that starts in southern France and you walk to Santiago de Compostela, because I've done the one where you start like far enough out that you get credit for doing the whole thing, but it's like barely like. I'd like to do like a full.
I don't know. My mom still brags about you doing that. So think that's pretty impressive.
It was very cool and fun.
Yeah.
However, I didn't do the like 5-week one. I did
Yeah.
I did the 5-day one and I did it in 8 days.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's still very cool.
because I wasn't pushing myself. And also
Yeah.
it was like before the season started, so it was like a little cold and stuff. I didn't like anyway, I would really like to go do the full thing. And in my head, I want to take that as the only piece I stitch on for the whole pilgrimage because it's the pilgrim.
Girl, you will get so bored.
No, because I only have like an hour at night where I can stitch.
Okay.
And if I'm on a pilgrimage and then I'm stitching the pilgrim at night, that's the kind of thing that I would just freaking love. And then I probably wouldn't get anywhere close to finishing it, but it would have the whole Camino stitched in it. Mm-hmm. But my kids will not be like, there's an alternative world in which I make them come walk it with me, but physically they really can't do it until they're like 12. So it would be like 10 years from now when my youngest is 12. And so that's also another possibility. But if I do that, am I going to get an hour of stitching time at night? No, because I'll be doing momming at night. Mm-hmm. So if
I'm momming teenagers, or at least one teenager.
About it. Anyway, so I don't feel bad that I put that one off, and I feel like saving it is not a bad thing. I might choose to just, and if it's like I'm doing it on white and it gets dirty or whatever, it's like that's the trip, it's fine. But anyway, so
gotcha.
Yeah, I think this is my 4th in this session, but we just took a break, so we're not quite sure. This is Coastal Cola.
I love that.
By Silver Creek Samplers. I'm stitching it on 32 count Blue Whisper or Vintage Whisper, which is not showing up at all. No, but it's a very light blue. It's like I have 3 projects on it. It's a great neutral. For some reason, it's just coming across like white, and then when I pull it up, it's like getting blown out. I can't figure. Anyway, I'm stitching it mostly with the Call for Gentle Arts, but I subbed. There are some other brands in there that I subbed out, and this is like more red in the original to me. Mine looks more like it's a faded billboard instead of like an actual advertisement, but I'm cool with that.
That is cool.
I haven't touched it since the summer because it's a very summery piece. I did put a picture on Instagram of me trying to reenact this as a joke.
That's cute.
That I loved. I saw this on Joy from the Carolina Stitchers Flosstube and like bought it that night and like started it 2 days later when it got here. And I also since then have seen that Laura from Stitching by the Shore had it finished and showed it as like one of her, like, you know how she props finishes up behind her, had it, and she did, of course, did an amazing color conversion on it. It lives in this Amazon bag, which I don't have a ton of Amazon bags, but there are some projects that like the pop of color in the Amazon bag is like exactly what I want for the project, and I just leave it even when another project bag opens up. All right, I think that was 4.
Sounds good. Okay. This is the headless witch.
I think Joy is also stitching this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. This is a Lori Holt pattern quilted witch, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All DMC stitched on the worst fabric in the world.
This is a Witchel 28 count Icelandic gray.
The worst. And I've got it stained. I mean, this whole project.
Where is it stained?
Up at the top.
No tide pin will fix it?
Well, it doesn't. It won't show.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. I see what you're saying. It'll get cut off eventually. Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. I hate working on it.
Yeah.
I hate working on it. I did quite a lot already.
You have this as a paper pattern. You could adopt this whip out to someone who wants to finish it. You don't have to finish it.
Thank you for saying that, because if every time I've said that before, you have commandeered it and said, I'm saying this for you.
Yeah.
So if you think
if I'm like,
then
no.
That's the confirmation I need to just.
Well, you know how I feel about Witchel.
It's the worst. Yeah. It is like literally the worst thing I've ever stitched on. Love the pattern.
Do you want to hold on to it for a while and see if you still feel that way next year, or do you want to just find
No,
someone?
I didn't stitch it at all this year. So chances of me stitching it next year are very slim.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna be done.
Do you want to give it away on this video?
If you want it, let me know.
If you want it, use the word witch in your comments and we'll draw a winner. And Allison will send you the pattern, the fabric. Probably not the DMCs because we don't know where they are. We don't know where they are.
Yeah.
But she's gotten, it's 28 count linen and it's from Witchel. and she's gotten really far.
Mhm.
And this is a big pattern, and it's a good pattern. You think you would restart it on something else, or you're just
No,
be like, I can't.
I'll give you the pattern. Yeah.
It's like really beautiful, and I think it would be great, but you really hate it.
I really,
And
really
it's
hate
not
it.
the pattern's fault.
No.
It's the fabric's fault.
And it's just not, I don't feel the motivation to restart it because I got the experience of the fun,
Yeah.
like ways of, colorways and stuff.
Well, this was the second thing you ever started on linen before you were like, no, this just isn't for me.
Yeah.
But also, it's the worst linen.
Yeah, it's the worst in the world.
All right, so use the word.
But
witch.
if you want it,
if you want it. But no, I've adopted other people's whips. Like there's something about a whip that is not for you, but is in the world. Okay. The only reason I'd only want 30 whips is so I don't have to do this. So.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Coffee and Eggs. I only have 4,000 stitches left. I really thought I was going to finish her this year, but I just didn't. I did work a lot on her this year, but I just didn't. I wasn't ready to be done with her. Also, this is another situation where it's like, this is 100% my style and like negative stuff, like negative 100% my husband's style. So like now it can be literally like the focal point of my kitchen, and I don't have to. And also, he was a chef, so like I couldn't be like, oh, it's the kitchen. No, he was in the kitchen way more than me. So he stopped being a chef 2 years ago and got a different job, but like most of our relationship, he was a chef. Yeah. And is like cooked for like members of royal families and stuff. So I couldn't be like, no, we're doing a retro pink kitchen with giant eggs, and him be like, I hate it, and then be like, but anyway. So this will be the whole, like the focal point of my kitchen. Now it is going to need to be framed in glass because it's going to be in a kitchen with kids who explode liquids all the time. My daughter throws bottles like they're grenades. She can get a leak-proof bottle to leak like that because she just chucks it. She will. Last night you saw she like picked up her baby doll to throw it to let us know she was mad, but then she wanted it back so that she could throw it again. Really angry.
Specifically, give me that back. Bye.
Like she could totally be a quarterback. But I love her. This is on 28 count baked clay by Fox and Rabbit. It's the called for count, but not the called for color. I'm doing it with the called for floss, and it's so me, especially her like lipstick and stuff. Like I wish I'd almost done her hair a little bit darker so she was more me, but
you still could.
It's still, she's me. I mean, I know everyone thinks that about her, and that's fine. And she is that, she's like an avatar, but I love her so much. It was the first piece I started on linen. So there's some mistakes in it that I can see now that I wouldn't make this time, but I look at it and I think it was so intimidating the first time. Also, I was having eye issues. I like literally couldn't see 28 count for a while. There's like a place in here where it's just a half stitch because I got off counting that in a way that like I probably wouldn't have happened again. But I don't care. I just love it. I love the Artsy Housewife. So it lives in this Carrie Sews For You bag with this paper rifle company fabric that I just absolutely love. And we'll be excited when I can put something else in it. All right, the next one is Easter by OwlForest Embroidery. I am using the kit flosses because the kit. This fabric is called Fairy Dust by Zweigart, but we don't sell it like that, so I don't know if that's just the name that they made up for it. But I like it. It's not very big. It's only like 5,000 stitches. It should be done. I mean, it could be done next year, but I don't know if it will be. But it's not a big kit.
Maybe if you pick it up if you want a wind.
Like, yeah, well,
I want a small wind right now.
You know that other category at the state fair is not too full. I think it could do quite well at the state fair because that category just doesn't really fill up.
Exactly.
But look how pretty these flosses. I haven't been showing a lot of floss packs, but like look how springy and pretty these OwlForest flosses are. Now, when I ordered from OwlForest, I got a bunch of thread packs because I knew that the kit fabric wasn't like was famously like not great. This is just Zweigart, and you can see what's in the kit if it's going to be Zweigart or if it's going to be something else. But this is fine. This is just like this is fine. But they have really tight margins, so I just got the thread packs. But because I did get the kit, that's the needle minder that came with this kit. Which I love. And I lived in Eastern Europe for 4 years, and I studied Russian and Eastern European history in college, and I read Cyrillic. I don't speak Russian, but I read Cyrillic, and I lived in Bulgaria, and I read Cyrillic, but I don't speak Bulgarian. But I love Eastern Europe, and so these painted eggs, like I've been to more museums about painted Easter eggs than most people know exist. Well, I guess most people don't know any exist, but I've been to a lot, and I've seen older women in these museums like painting the eggs and doing them like in real time, and yeah,
very cool.
I love it. All right, the next one is Elizabeth in the Lavender Sky, which is an out of print 90s Mirabilia, but not an expensive one. And I had started it. I restarted it this May. Then I wasn't able to pick it up again in November. I'm doing it. I'm converting it to full coverage, so I'm doing it on 16 count easy grid. Because the spaces that are not full coverage is so minimal that I thought it'd be nice to have a full coverage one. And this is another piece where it's like, oh, she's gonna be out one day, and I don't have to get approval from anyone, even though she is different. Mm-hmm. It lives in this Carrie Sews For You cat bag. Oof. And here's Fairy Flora. This is my first big Mirabilia that I started. I started her with Rachel from Licking Floss for the Fairy Flora retirement sale, and then a few other people joined in, including Sarah from Memphis, Sarah E. I did a lot of work on her this year, but she didn't come back out in November. She is up for being one of my focus mirrors for next year because she's real big. She's a lot left. But I'm close to being out of this dress. I have a lot of the dress left, but I'm close to being able to count my way out of it and work on something else for a while, which will be exciting. Mm-hmm. Jen started her on like a teal. It's really pretty.
That sounds awesome.
And she lives in an entirely different bag. That was my whole first tote of whips. We just made it through. Oh,
there are 3 left.
Okay, I came over here with 5 tote bags of whips.
Not all 5.
Not all this big. 2 of them are smaller.
Okay.
It's the normal tote basket I bring over. This, 2 small tote bags, and a Ted's Mexican food brown paper bag.
Hey, whatever you work.
And then all my whips were in a suitcase bag. Because I ironed them all and then rolled them all up and just put them in a duffel bag. And then I remembered last time when I didn't account for putting the whips back in the bags, the bags didn't fit in the boxes and stuff that I brought them over again because each one was now a tiny bit bigger.
Oh, that's funny.
So I needed, so they came over in 5 bags plus a bag of whips, and they'll leave in 6, and it's fine. I already showed you this. Okay, it lives in this Carrie Sews For You bag. My bags will be smaller when I don't have DMC in them. Some of the projects will be like, do you even need a project bag if the DMC doesn't live in it? Because I could theoretically move to like being like someone who has like a normal 1 pair of scissors and such.
Yeah.
Some of these floss packs I won't de-stash though, like on some of these bigger projects. I'll wait, but
especially if
there's a chance
if it's
the
not
dye lots.
DMC, it's
if it's not DMC, they'll stand. And if but then there's also some where like my chatelaine, which I didn't bring because I'm restarting it, so I have nothing to show on it. I would not dekit that because those dye lots will change.
Yeah.
By the time that one's done, those dye lots are changing.
Yeah.
All right. That was 4.
All right. My next one is Modern Folk Embroidery. This is Fruits of Plenty.
It's so good.
I'm stitching it on an 18 count dyed by me, just regular Adia.
This is something we figured out this year. If you want a really bright fabric, that is easy to dye because you just keep putting that dye in there until it gets there. It's the subtle ones that are hard.
That is hard, yeah. It's harder to get neutral. Yeah. This is where I started. I picked, these aren't the colors.
It's funny, it doesn't look modeled when you look at it, but it is slightly modeled. I can see it.
It's a little bit, yeah.
The light.
Not a whole bunch. But this is ecru, and then I don't know what color blue that is.
It's so good.
Thank you.
Every time I think, like, I really liked the style that came out this year for next year, the Balakans, Birdies, or whatever. But it's like, but would I like it more than this?
Than that one,
yeah. But also, do I want to stitch any of them? Probably not.
It's large.
I have a lot of, let me get through some of these. I was thinking like 2025, I'm going to start a lot. But maybe in 2026 I'll do like a no starts or something, and okay, we'll see.
That wasn't a me doubting you face at all. Okay.
Okay. All right, murder. All right, Flowers and Friends by Hello from Liz Matthews.
This is so good.
When I got started this was a Patreon piece, but it's been released since. I'm doing my own conversion with a mix of silks, but they're like most sales and some one-offs and like the Stitch Me and different things. It wouldn't make sense to like buy this conversion, but I do like it. Hers is jewel tone. Mine is just, I think, a punchier jewel tone or a darker jewel. It's like different, but they're both in the jewel tone family.
I think I like yours.
It's so fiddly. I love it. I should not have done the whole house first because the flowers are so fiddly. So you look at this, you're like, oh, you're almost done. You only have 2,000 stitches left of the fiddliest stitches in your whole life, but it's so good. Mm-hmm. It took me like 3 nights to do these. Now, every time I pick it back up, I have more experience, and I'm, like, Fairy Flora is 28 count Earth by Fiber on a Whim. This is 28 count Vintage Magnolia by Lakeside Lands. So pretty. I love it. It's just very fiddly. And it is also symmetrical. And so I figured out I shouldn't have started down here. I need to be up here and doing
the
exact thing as I go. So if I make a mistake, I make the same mistake.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And also it means you can keep your colors on your needle longer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's beautiful and I want it done, but it is fiddly AF. It'd be really pretty if someone did it on a slightly darker fabric where you could get away with traveling more, because this you can't travel at all. Like this border, there's nowhere to hide. You have to pick it up. Mm-hmm. It's so pretty. It lives in this Thread Lady 99 bag. But I want it done. I don't love stitching it right now because I did all the easy parts and I should have done that. It's fine. Okay.
It happens.
I don't have mini starts that I'm going to show you today that are this small. I think I only have 2 that are this small because some of the ones I had in the last Wip Parade that were this small, I've gone back and worked on. So this is Frosted Pumpkin Cottage by the Witchy Stitcher. So last year, October 1st, 2023 was Witchy Stitcher Day. She got diagnosed with cancer last year, and it was the day where people like bought her patterns and supported her. I had bought 4 already, so I started the 3 that I hadn't started yet, and this was one of them. But because I was starting 3 in one day, I just started them to start them on that day, and then I have gone back and worked on all 3 of the other ones. One of them is finished. The one I already had as a whip is finished. One of the ones I started that day is like a lot further. The other 2 are a lot further. And then this one is the one that is because it's 12,000 stitches, and I am evaluating, do I really want to work on this?
Okay.
I really like it, but it is 12,000 stitches. It's a lot bigger than the other patterns I have by her. So before I put any more time into it, I need to decide if it's for me. Okay. Because there's a lot of Halloween patterns out there now. Yeah. Not that there weren't at the time, but you know what I mean?
You've seen more.
Yeah. Now I did it on this fabric to pair it with Baba Yaga, but now Baba Yaga's on my murder wall, and this would not go on the murder wall, so they won't be together. So I also could decide, do I want to do it on this fabric? But I like this fabric. Yeah. 14 count, craft store Rustico Ada. I do like this fabric. So we'll see. I think I would keep the fabric, but we'll see if it's not going to be stitched on next year. So by the time it's turn and it's practically like a start, I mean, it's a whip, but it would practically feel like a start. I'm committing to do it. Am I going to commit to this whole thing? It lives in this Carrie Sews for You pumpkin truck bag. All right. 3. This is my Make It Murder Sow. One of them. I have 2. This is Frosted Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. I'm changing it to so the Make It Murder Sow, we have an explainer video about it. If you are interested in joining, it's not too late because we're running to the end of January, but really you can go till anytime. And we will do it again next October too. So the idea is you take like a cutesy little scene or anything that's supposed to be cute, and instead you make it a murder So I saw someone who put like little knives in the bunnies, and like there's just little cute things you can do. So we're gonna ask people who participated to send their pictures in at the end, or do a Zoom call or something at the end of in the beginning of February, so that we can release all of the ones people did. And if it's just ours we release, that's also fine. So I'm doing it on 32 count vintage Stormy Night Lugano, which is the offcut from my chatelaine.
Okay.
But I don't hate it because it's just.
Did you just do one thread and it
No, but there's no specialty stitches and there's no like half stitches and stuff, so it's a little bit easier.
Nice.
And so the goal is to finish them at the end of January. So we knew when we started in September that we were going to be mostly doing them in January. And it lives in my Wednesday bag from Jasmine Custom Bags. And the other project for this Sal also lives in here, so I will. And it's got blood spatter, black and white blood spatter. I mean, it's probably paint spatter, but to me it looks like blood spatter.
It's a good theme. It's on brand.
1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Oh, this is Garden Zig by Ink Circles. I don't know if I'm gonna finish this. It's really pretty.
Honestly, you could probably frog the last part and make it cute.
Yeah, like I might just be done with it.
Yeah, just make it.
It's on 40 count. It's really pretty, but the secret sale is over, and the point of the secret sale, it was hosted by the Hathaway sisters, was to use your own colors for it. And so I had that experience, and that was the fun communal experience. I made friends,
and that's just gorgeous.
And it's really pretty. Yeah, but I don't love stitching on 40 count, and I don't know if I really care to have the whole thing done. I think I would get just as much joy out of maybe just finishing the row.
What if you turned this fabric into a spot sampler, and when you come across a pattern where you're like, I like this, but I don't like this, maybe you want to stitch that.
I wouldn't do it on 40 count.
Well, okay, that's fair enough.
But no, I mean, I could finish the top row and stop. I might not do the whole thing, but I'm also not going to work on it anytime soon, so I don't need to make decisions now. But just, I no longer feel like, oh, I'm definitely going to finish it. I love my color palette that I chose. I love it. But I will get just as much of that palette out of one row as I will out of 3 rows. Because the final one is big, even on 40 count. And it's pretty, but I appreciate what inks. There are some kinds of. I'm more of a block stitcher than like a fiddly stitcher. I way prefer. I like a full coverage too, but not like a diagonal 100 million stitch full coverage. Like fits in a normal picture frame full coverage, but you can travel wherever you want to go. Like
traveling is easier. Yeah.
When I get something fiddly and I don't put it on a dark like this, I can travel some on here, but I can't travel that much. Like yours, you could travel all over the place because you put it on really dark fabric. Yeah, but I like it. It was a really fun experience. I just don't know how much I need it. I don't need to finish it to have had the experience. I don't need to finish it to appreciate the color palette. And I have like, this is the end of this row, I think, or maybe there's one more. So I only have like, if I only do one row, then I can stop here. All right, it lives in this Kathy's Posies sweet little rain boots bag. I love Kathy's Posies bags. Now they're kind of hit or miss on if they're going to be for me or not, but I appreciate the artistry she puts in all of them. She sells on Etsy. This is Oklahoma Sooners Hannah.
Origin unknown. Really, we asked. I'm not getting into it.
You don't want this pattern anyway.
It's fine. It's a full coverage, and I worked on it maybe 5 days this year.
Oh, you didn't even watch all the games?
Well, I did watch them all, but I didn't bother.
Yeah,
I was just
so didn't want to stitch this season, and
I was like, this is ridiculous. So I was too mad to stitch. So it didn't get much love. But I used Easy Grid Adia, which you'll see I did not use all the time before. This is very cool. I didn't know there was an Easy Grid.
Oh, yeah.
And you just watch it and the lines go away.
It's really easy, yeah.
Yeah. And so if you've done full coverage before, and gridded it yourself?
You wash it in very hot water. It's
Very
the
hot.
heat that takes it away. I can even iron the pieces that have this, and it like fades a little bit, but they don't go away.
Yeah, I ironed it, and it's all DMC. But I love this fabric because
really
it's just like 16 count, easy grid Ada, 18 count.
I don't remember. It's an easy grid Ada.
Yeah,
and
that I love.
On a pattern you don't want to buy.
You can't. I mean, it's on Etsy if you want to look, but origin unknown, and just know that
it was tight. The original pattern was tight. Mm-hmm. The person who sells it is her friend.
Her mom's friend. It was
a lot of work clearly went into the pattern.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about if they had the right to do the art, to take the artwork or not.
It's from the 80s. Yeah. So who knows?
So we're not advocating you purchase it, but Allison's
I didn't know that when I bought it. And then I immediately messaged her because it was a typed copy of this. And I said, hey, that's really not what I purchased, right? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry for the misunderstanding.
You might have purchased the only copy in the world.
But it was a photocopy. So she's reselling the same.
Don't buy it.
Don't do it.
Don't buy it. Okay. One of my other Witchy Stitcher Day pieces was Ghost Stories by the Witchy Stitcher, which, as you can see, I got further. Now, this is 14 count ivory Ada. I'm not a fan of it, and I'm not a fan of how it looks. But I think when I finish, I'm going to use that antiquing spray that Unfinished Stitches always talks about using and make it look older. And because it's just like black DMC and white and pink, I might spray it after I do the black before I do the white and pink. And then the whole thing will be antique, but then the ghost will be not. But I need to watch their tutorial on how to use it to see if that makes sense, like as a process. But I mean, I only have 600 stitches, but it's only like a 2,500 stitch pattern. So I could have finished it this year. I just had other things I wanted to do. Sure. But it's cute, and I will finish it. I think it'll make a cute little. Sarah from Sarah's Stitchery finished hers last year.
Very cool. I
didn't buy it because I saw it on her channel, but her finish is really good, and I was very inspired by her. Like her full finish of it. It's good. Oh, it lives in that Carrie Sews For You bag, which you saw.
She just flung.
Okay. The next one was an exclusive that I bought at the 2023 Jingle Ball, but it has been fully released. Go Tell It on the Mound by Heartstring Sampler. It's a good one. I have worked on this since our last Flosstube episode, but guys, I hate stitching these things, and I have like I hate stitching them so much. And I did buy the pattern from the Jingle Ball this year that's like basically just these, and I know I had already gotten this out and been like, oh, I hate those, and then saw that pattern, was like, but I want it.
Sometimes it's worth the pain.
It will be worth the pain, but I might try to find a slightly darker fabric so that I can travel a little bit more, because I don't think you can see travel when it's like that. Like, I think because there's literally floss in every hole in this space, I think I could travel more than I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But I love this pattern so much. This is 32 count tarnished silver by Lakeside Linen. And I really thought I would try to finish it this year, but it got taken off the list last week because I put 80 stitches in it, and I was like, my heart's not in this. I want to finish my Stitch for Pride. That's the thing. It's not that I feel like I need to do this stitching, but I want to be doing this stitching. It's like my heart is in finishing Stitch for Pride and finishing my son's solar system. Because I want those like goals done by the end of the year, and like the one that's for my son is a birthday present. So it's then it wasn't as fun to stop and do the Christmas stitching, but I'm doing that WIPCO next year for the Jingle Ball Baubles book. So I'm not going to stop, and I'm going to be starting the 12 Days of Christmas on Christmas. So I'm not going to be stopping stitching Christmas at the end of the season. So I'm not as like pressed about it. Mm-hmm. It lives in this Kathy's Posies bag. You see the little crochet details on the bag.
Very cute.
I'm doing that with my own silk conversion from Stash. All right. This is on my list next year to finish. I broke this up into 12 for next year. This is Golden Delicious by the Artsy Housewife. I'm doing it on 28 count cream by Zweigart linen. I'm using the Call For. I think they're all Gentle Arts and Classic Colorworks. I don't remember. I ordered them before I really knew what the differences in the brands were. I can't remember. Oh, I love it, but it's very fiddly. And so
the whole border is
breaking it up
Agreed.
into 1,000 stitches a month next year is partially designed to let me just like try to get away from the fiddliness by just like pulling it out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And giving myself permission to be like, okay, well, I just need to get 500 stitches so I can get whatever 500 I want right now. But it's so pretty. We're hosting the 2 kinds of delicious sale. Allison stitching dark. Rebecca from Beck Stitches Everything is stitching dark golden delicious as well. A lot of you guys actually joined. Karen from KB Stitches I think joined us, and no, she didn't join us. And a few other people joined us, and I think some people even like finished. Crazy. And I'm stitching this with a oval 4.5 by Duchess with some bad felt, but it actually is fine because this fabric is a little bit thick for. Doesn't it feel a little thick for linen?
Yes.
Yeah, which is funny because it's Zweiger, so like it hasn't gone through that extra overnight step. So then it kind of retains a little bit more bulk. Is Great White Christmas by Boomerang Stitches. I'm stitching it on 32 count Tsunami by Bestitch Me with 38.65. And I thought I was going to do a lot at Midsummer Stitch, so I started outlining this box. But then Midsummer Stitch, I ended up like going further on my Pina Palace and trying to get that finished. So I'll pull it out again. But it's one of those things where it's like, when I'm stitching it, I feel like my stitches look terrible. But then after a while, I'm not looking at it, and I go back and look, I'm like, they're fine. It's like Boomerang Stitches is Amity from the Hathaway Stitchers. It lives in this pink flamingo Christmas Carrie Sews For You bag. Now, because we are in a cold weather Christmas situation, it doesn't feel seasonal to me now. It feels seasonal to me in the summer, but it will be fun to have it out in the winter.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. My next one is my 2024 Stitch for Pride. I was doing at the beginning of the year, like, they release one pattern a month, and I was doing it like that, but then I got behind. And so I picked it back up this month.
Yeah, you picked it up.
Yeah, I picked it back up this month and finished this Arrow one, and then I'm almost done with the Love block in the middle. I ran out of that color, and it's highly variegated. And now I have to take this with me to the quilt store
to remember
to try and figure out what color it is, because I have no idea.
But it's a Cosmo.
It's a Cosmo, but I did not write down the number.
It's so pretty.
It is really pretty. They're all really pretty.
Some of the ones so Stitch for Pride 2025 is open, but the orders will close on the 29th. So if you want to join the next year's Stitch for Pride, go to D's 20 Stitches. I'll link their Ko-Fi in the description.
The amount of work that went into this Sal is ridiculous for the price you get. Like, oh my gosh.
The price is listed in Canadian. So if you go and you're like $36, that's
and
36
it's even
Canadian.
Cheaper.
It's 26 American.
That's amazing.
26 and change.
Yeah. And I love it.
So the next one I have is Halloween Pumpkin Patch. This is cut by KEB Studio Creations. And I'm doing it on Vintage Magnolia by Lakeside Linens. And it's very sweet and cute. I just didn't pull it out this year. I need to change the border. The border is actually 5 confetti stitches, which I didn't want to do. And I also don't like the weird thing that I did instead.
That's which
I made this piece.
Okay.
I don't like that either. I need to pull it out, but I don't know what I'll replace it with. I should just stitch the whole thing and see if it even needs something in between those designs.
Yeah.
Because these are fiddly enough.
Yeah.
Without wanting to do 60 confetti stitches. So we'll see. But I like it a lot. It lives in this beautiful little pumpkin patchwork bag. I'm using the DMC conversion. All right, that was number 1. The second one is Hello Summer, and my second Make It Murder Sal. This is by Erin Elizabeth. So Make It Murder, my other one I'm doing is like a Fargo themed murder. This is more of like a CW Lifetime channel, like summer slick, I Know What You Did Last Summer style, like teen drama vibe. I haven't fully figured out all the changes, but I'll be working on this a ton in January. This is 28 count Mushroom Lugano, which is the call for, and I'm using the call for DMCs. And I love it.
Have you decided what modifications?
Not fully. I've got some ideas, but I have like I have an ambitious modification of what if there was a body on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
That seems really ambitious. What if there's just like a foot on the beach or a boot on the beach? A severed foot on the beach. What if there's a man on the boat? What if, like, there's definitely gonna be blood in the water. I got, things are cooking. Once I finish those, it'll give me a better idea of picking for next year how complicated of a pattern do I want to get. Like, because those don't seem like super complicated changes.
Yeah.
And I have charting software. I can chart things like pretty easily, but it's still like a little bit like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, the next one is the Herbalist Sal by World on a String by Dara. I always think I pronounce it wrong. I love this. I put it away because something was happening. I think I was working on my Game of Thrones book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And the middle motif came out and it is big. But I still think I only have 6,000 stitches on this left total. And it's like, look how good that looks.
Really good.
So
that's so delicate for being so poisonous.
Yeah. Now, I was backstitching these boxes as they go, so like it kind of fills in. And it's actually like a lot of the things are like helpful things. Like some are poisonous, but most of them are things that would be like good. It just looks so, I think it'll look great. I wish I kept up with the Sal, but I just didn't have the bandwidth. This is 28 Count Willow by Miss Stitch Me, which I think is a fabulous neutral.
Yeah.
Like just fabulous. I think sometimes neutrals that are brown-ish, taupe-ish can have a little too much modeling that's like a little bit strong. I think the modeling in this is so peaceful.
Yeah, it doesn't distract.
Yeah.
It's
really good.
Smooth.
If I was allowed to buy fabric, I would order more, but I am not allowed to buy fabric. It lives in this. This is what I mean by like sometimes an Amazon bag is just the right color. Like this just fits. And also look how much floss this is holding.
Yeah, that's a lot.
We gotta get this floss out of this bag.
Yeah.
Julie, we gotta free this floss.
The cat is biting these.
Frankie. We
I'm
don't-
not.
We don't have the cell phone battery left for
Come
this,
on.
Frankie. Come on.
Come on.
All right. Oh, you haven't seen this one.
Oh.
So I had 2 new starts since our last Flosstube.
Okay, I was just saying, I wonder how many new starts.
Oh, just 2.
Okay.
One was planned, one was not. But this is Krampus Klein by D's 20 Stitches.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is the little Krampus pattern. So D, I won a giveaway on D's channel, and they sent me some patterns that are really cool. 2 of them were Krampus themed, and it was Krampus Nacht on December 5th, and I was like, well, then I basically have to start it. So I'm converting it to just being monochromatic to make it a little less like if my kids, I don't want them to really like,
Oh my gosh.
Frankie.
What the heck?
Frankie doesn't want Allison to stitch because he's trying to take her hand off her body.
Stop it.
So I'm doing it on the offcut of Tropical Stitches Presentation 28 count. I know this is a stupid border. Like margin. Like I know. I don't want to hear it. But I am converting it into all black 310. So there's a couple places where I have to make changes so that you can see what's going on in the pattern, since the real one has 3 or 4 colors.
Mm.
But I just like the idea of it being like monochromatic black.
I can't wait to see.
It says Krampus.
It's awesome.
It's not gonna
Smaller than I thought.
It's really small. Well, this is the small version that takes elements from the bigger sampler and makes it small, because I thought that would be
Fine.
more like feasible for me as this start, like random start.
Sure.
I was working really hard, so I only have 60 projects in this Wip Parade, and this is number 61 because I couldn't help myself. It was so good, and it was Krampus Nacht. What was it supposed to do? Okay, it lives in an upcycled. Upcycling implies that you've made changes. It lives in a cosmetics bag, but
I like it.
I think it's good for this. and
Repurposed.
it's repurposed, and with this 5-inch.
Oh, that's cute.
Princess hoop. But yeah, for one color, a tiny little hoop. Like it doesn't need more than this.
That is the perfect on the go.
Yeah.
Stitcher. I love
But
it.
I don't know if I'll pull this out again until Krampus Nacht next year.
Okay.
I might make it like just see if I. It's not very
Although,
big.
can I suggest that public stitching that would be so much fun? Because when you public stitch, people ask you, "Oh, that's interesting. What are you doing?"
So there was the Victorian walk we went on last night. There was a Krampus like there. Maybe next year we dress up and we be Victorians, but I'm stitching a Krampus sampler. How crazy would that
That'd
be?
be awesome.
But there were people stitching at this Victorian walk, and they were dressed in like period But they were not using vintage hoops. And I feel like Allison and I could be like, no.
We spot the historical analysis.
Yeah, we were like, that is a craft store hoop if I've ever seen one. All right. La Maison by the Spanish Stitcher. This is a stitch along with Katie from So Tattered, who I think she filmed. She hasn't been filming this much. I know one of her children is like a senior in high school, and I'm sure like things are like very busy, and I love her videos so much. But but she's very active on Instagram, so you can keep up with her escapades on Instagram. But she did this stitch along. She's further than me. This is 40 count maple sugar by Lakeside Linen, which is part of why she's way further than me, because I can't really see it. I should just take the 40 count projects that I have and be like, okay, one of them is staying out until it's done, and then the next one, and then I'm done, and then close up the 40 count shop for a while. Yeah. But because I have like at least 4 on 40 count, and I just can't really. It's a lot. I will finish this. I really like it. I'm not restarting it, but it's going to be slow. And it may be the only.
Maybe you need to pick, like, I'm going to do Sundays for mine.
Not next year. My plans for next year are very
That
full.
is very true.
And if I get one of them out, it'll be for the small finish category, and it wouldn't be this one because I don't know how much I have left, but I have a lot left.
Yeah.
But it will eventually.
Yeah.
It lives.
Maybe if you decide to do UFO one of yours.
It's not a 2025 project, but it will come out at some point because I really do like it. Yeah. It lives in this 805 stitcher bag.
I like the
oh yeah,
the
she made me the matching needle minders for the bags.
It's so cute.
I love her bags. Okay. No, I really like that project. Also, when my kids are a little bit older, I might have more daytime stitching time because it might not be like, you know, my son tried to wake me up at 7, and I was like, we're not doing that. We can get up at 8. And then from 8 till like 11, or from 8 till 11 this morning was just like me being their assistant. But at some point they won't really need that, and I could quietly stitch in the corner while my children.
Right.
I mean, who knows if that. The dream would be, could I just stitch in the corner while you guys play? Like, could we just have that, like, leave it to be a moment? But I don't know.
I don't know kids enough to be like.
I don't think that
happens. They do that at this age.
All right, I'm gonna do one more because I'm not sure if I did 3 or 4, but it doesn't really matter either way. All right, this is Lady Mirabilia by Mirabilia. It's not out of print. The pattern is a little bit more because it comes with a charm, like a butterfly charm that you can't get anywhere else. So the pattern will look like $25 or $20 depending on where you get it, but it's not because it's out of print. It's just because it comes with a treasure. I'm stitching it with the Call for Colors. So in here are DMC and Karen Water Lilies. I'm stitching on a 28 count Luna Moth by Bestitch Me. I really like her. She just has never been like the focused one. So I pulled her out like on random days. But it'll be her turn one day. She lives in this Carrie Sews For You bag. She got a lot of floss. Oh, that's a floss bag. I think if I do the kit, all the DMCs, I'll just leave the ones for the mirrors in them because it was a lot of work to get those floss packs the way they are, and they need a lot of floss. But I might do something different for new mirrors and not do that. But also, I'm not only allowed to start 2 mirrors next year, so by the time this...
Have you already picked them out?
Gathering eggs and floral flowers. But I might be starting something else next year, which we'll hear about. I said in our plans there was a caveat of if someone happened to lend me something precious and rare.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No.
Then I might need to just do it. And then somebody was like, hey, I have this precious rare thing. And I'm like, well, then I might need to do it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So in that case, are you stitching it?
I might. I haven't decided yet.
So my schedule will depend on if you are going to do it first. All right. This is a project bag.
We're tired.
I'm going to go ahead and do one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not my turn because I already...
Do it. Oh, it's so pretty.
This is one you guys have seen a million times.
Oh, I love it.
This is Moonglow. I haven't made any progress with her since I showed her on the last Flosstube, but this is Moonglow by Nora Corbett. This was my 2023 Nora November start. She was supposed to be a 2024 November finish, but again, I'm separated and dealing with a lot. So she did not get as much time as I wanted, but she only has 1,000 stitches and beads left. 1,100 stitches and beads combined left to be done, plus a lot of backstitch. So
is there a lot of? Well, yeah, she's
her whole body
created, yeah,
an entire woman of backstitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a lot. So it has a lot of work to do, and I really want her done this year, but it may slip into January, and that's okay. And that would be okay.
Really cool. She's
very close, and now that I don't have to explain to anyone else why I have a naked stitched woman in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Like,
have you, since she's so close, have you thought about?
I have a frame for it.
You have a frame?
I found a frame at a thrift store. Actually, when I started my thrifting channel, I recorded a day where I found her, and then I scrapped that whole video because I changed the vibe of my videos before I launched the channel. But I did find that, but the frame that I found needs to be cleaned and painted. But it was $2.
That's not bad.
And it's got some nice detail, and I think it'll be good. I might take her in to have them have them frame her in it. But because one of the things I realized is they're much better at getting it really, really tight, and that linen doesn't really is still wrinkly after I iron it, and also it'll have beads. So getting it really tight will be better.
I've never had anything framed that had beads.
But no glass, and it'll go on the wall of my bedroom. I just now don't have to be like, yes, this is what I want in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Because it is what I want in my bedroom. Okay.
Okay, I'll go. Okay. This is 12 Days of Christmas by Tiny Modernist. She has, or they have two 12 Days of Christmas patterns. One is like individual ornaments, and one is this. This is a 2016, not the new one. And I love it, love it, love it.
It's so good.
I love the 12 Days of Christmas. If you don't know, the 12 Days of Christmas are Christmas through January 6th.
Actually, technically, January 5th is the 12th day, and January 6th is Epiphany.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Allison's birthday is January 6th.
It's January 6th. It's Epiphany,
This is her origin story and her lore.
Yes. So this is, my mom has done this to me. She buys me the 12 Days of Christmas stuff, specifically for my birthday, specifically at Christmas, and then again at my birthday.
Oh, that's
It's
sweet.
very nice.
You haven't watched Audrey's video yet. She's stitching a vintage 12 Days of Christmas, and she agrees. If you do a 12 Days of Christmas, but they're not like one piece like this. It is one start, one whip, 12 finishes.
I do not subscribe by that.
Audrey and I
are the authority, apparently.
Well, she called up the gods of Hobby House, and they said yes.
So they said yes. It was permitted.
But she's doing like an old sweetheart tree, those really old vintagey patterns.
Yeah.
And it looks really good.
That's cool.
And I'm gonna finish mine as one, so it actually will be one whip.
Okay, if you're gonna finish it as one, I'm on board.
I'm gonna finish it as a pendant to hang in my living room.
Yeah, because I'm counting this as one, and
this is one, yeah.
Yeah, but the pattern is.
But you could do them as ornaments.
You could. They're so cute. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. It's.
Now you're doing this as a stitch along with Katie, the Peacock Stitcher.
Yes,
Xmas 365. She finished.
And hers is
and she also finished. Oh, I'm stitching Moon Glow with Elizabeth Savory and Allie's Crafty and Katie the Peacock Stitcher and Addie from Addie's Crossing Quilts. And Addie and Katie, you decided to finish her.
Some people.
You don't have to finish the stitch along.
Some people. This is the only thing I have going on Lugano.
Yeah.
So it's 25 count Lugano.
It's really good. It's 25 count, so it's a little bigger, or are you doing it 1/1?
I don't remember. I don't think it's 1/1. But I'm pretty sure it's 25 count. Or maybe it's 22 count.
It looks like 28 count. It's 20 count.
Oh, okay.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, called for DMCs. I thought I was gonna finish it this year. I was doing 1 square a month, and then obviously somewhere around August.
I think a lot of things happened in August. Like you and I both started kind of like,
So it is what it is, and it'll get finished when it gets finished.
Right. Well, and also you have a ton because we FFO'd all of our stuff to take it to the state fair in September. Allison has 3, 4, 5 fully finished Christmas pieces out. You just don't get to see any of them. But like she has, I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so this is October Quaker Tree by Hello from Liz Matthews. This is her October Quaker. I got it as part of their Patreon last year. She released it this year, and I did the little boo last year and showed you guys many times. And then I started the tree in October, and then had a panic attack because I realized I didn't have enough floss. And then Jackie from Jax's Creative Inspiration sent me an extra thing of the floss so that next year I can finish her out.
Nice.
And there's and also sent us those little gifts, but she'll show yours on the next one.
Yeah.
And I'm stitching on 28 count hibiscus by Fiber on a Whim. And I love it. And next year I'm going to have all the Halloween decor out, which is everywhere. Which is everywhere.
Oh, right. I like that bag.
Yeah, this is the bag that the project I'm stitching for Lucy was in inappropriately, and I switched it out, and it's much better.
I love it. Yeah.
It's like a vintage Halloween bag. Now, this isn't really Halloween. This is October Quaker, but it's fine.
Yeah, it works.
I think this will be very high on my list next year to pick as like a monthly finish. Cool. Like, because it's got less than 2,000 stitches left. And will be so fun. Especially since I have the other one done too. Oh, wait. I keep going here. That was number 1.
That was number 1. Okay.
This is Una Owl. I started her for Elizabeth Savory's birthday sal. The Una Owl B-Day sal.
Okay,
Frankie's like very upset with you.
I know. He's going to ruin my sweater too. He keeps clawing
and
my
it's new.
sweater.
Frankie, you're not allowed. Go. You might have ruined my owl.
Did he ruin it?
Nobody did.
Yep, he's done that to mine too.
It was inappropriate the way that he's like, I'll show you. Like, I probably could block it, and it's outside of the
your stitch area.
Yeah.
Honorary butt.
Oh yeah, it scooted right over. It's gone now. But that was funny because I was like, why did I put my project down before I moved the cat? Anyway, this is 28 Count Eureka by Fox and Rabbit. I'm using the call for floss. This is the call for fabric, but not the call for count of the fabric. And this is super fun. And at many points this year, I've been like, I'm going to stitch that till it's done. And then just had other things I had to do. But Elizabeth's birthday is in April, so I'm sure it will be out again.
Yeah.
And it lives in this little Teresa Kogut bag. So, okay. This is deers with scarves and also flowers that look like sunflowers. So to me, this is like fall, but it could, but it is, but it's, anyway. So this is kind of got a fall color palette. So I feel like it goes well in there. Like, we started in April for her birthday, but it's like a very autumnal-y palette. But I don't know. I love it. I love the Artsy Housewife so much. Okay. This is the Witchy Stitcher piece that I started for Witchy Stitcher Day last year and then restarted this year. This is Poisonous Plants. Elizabeth Savory gave me the inspiration to do this on light fabric. She did hers on light fabric. It looks so good. Instead of the call for 14 count Black Ada. This is 28 count Macchiato by, you know what? It might not be a 14 count Black Ada. It might just be a black linen, but it's called for on black. And this is 28 count Macchiato by Bestitch Me. And I just kind of got into the frame and was enjoying it and didn't really want to put it down, but had other things to do. But I love it.
It's much smaller than I thought it would be.
It's so small.
It's very small.
So small. It's like 5,000 stitches.
Yeah, that's very small.
Yeah. So I love it. It's going to be good. It lives in this Thread Lady 99 bag. And I'm stitching it with a 9 by 4.5 Duchess hoop. Alright. And the last one for this round is Pretty Pumpkins by OwlForest Embroidery. I'm using the Floss thread pack from OwlForest, but this is Woodland by Forbidden Fiber Co. The pumpkin is ghosty, also on the called for. It's supposed to be like that.
Do you outline it in anything like that?
In person, it's not as ghosty.
It's not, but
it's ghosty, but not as ghosty. But then there's like all this stuff around it too. So, but in the camera, it's like, is there a pumpkin?
Ghosty,
yeah. This was my first thing I started at 40 count. It gave me more confidence than I deserved to do on 40 count because I don't know. There's something about it. It's easier for me to see this one than a lot of the other ones.
Really?
And it's not like it's darker or lighter than them. I don't know. But yeah, I love it, but I didn't pull it out this year. I will definitely get it out sometime. It's a free pattern from OwlForest Embroidery. But and this but I'm using the floss pack. The floss pack is not big either. But again, 40 count.
There is now cat hair.
2026, I should make a 40 count rotation that's like its own category.
Yeah. Sorry, there is now cat hair all over my whip because my cat was being a jerk. Sat on it.
He's sitting over there staring at Allison like
really mad. How dare I?
But it's more evil. It's like
a little jerk. Okay. This is
Cenerentola
by Madame Chantilly. Not called for DMC because this white does not show up on this at all. There's a shoe there that you cannot see.
What are you gonna do? Have you decided?
So yes, I've picked different colors. The carriage is also supposed to be white. So now instead of white, it's a golden carriage. And I've just picked colors that are other places in the same pattern, and I'm changing them. The horse, which I did half of, the back half. The horses are supposed to be white, and so they're going to be this brown color instead, and it's going to be fine. It does not going to look anything like it.
4 white mice can never be 4 white horses.
That is one version. This is more of a...
This is more...
antique Cinderella.
I got it.
Yeah.
This is Cinderella.
Yeah. And actually, this is tea-dyed by me, Ada. 14 count Ada.
So on Allison's birthday, January 6th, the video that comes out that day is going to be a Cinderella parade. We're going to show the Cinderella whips again. But we're also going to show all of Allison's Cinderella finishes. I have a Cinderella finish and also all of our Cinderella stash, which she has some.
I have some.
And I actually have some too. And then we're also going to show some other patterns that Allison has her eye on for even after. Like, it's just going to be a day of Cinderella because Allison loves Cinderella. Oh, it's my turn.
Your turn. Okay. I only have one.
I only have
I have 7 left. Is that right? That means you have how many left?
I have a lot left. Let's keep going.
Okay, go faster.
What time is it?
We don't have that much time.
All right, we got 30 minutes. Okay. This is my other new start. This is Santa's House by Cottage Garden Samplings.
Cute.
Doing that in 28 count gray magic by Stitch Me. I love it. I'm using the call. There's 2 fancy floss colors in there, and then the rest is DMC. I'm using all the call for. And it's wonderful. I'm not probably going to be able to pull it out again this year, but I really enjoyed it. I also kitted up Erin Elizabeth's Believe in here, thinking like I would do it this year, but then like I really just want to get these finishes. So I think Believe will come out next year, but I might pull it out on Christmas and just start it.
Yeah.
Because I'm using the same white for both, so I just put 2 things of it in here so I wouldn't run out. I'm using this 6-inch princess hoop, and it lives in this pretty southern vintagey Christmas bag. And I love it. Like, I really love it. It's so much fun. I really the Cottage Garden sampling pieces that I've started that have 2 fancy flosses, 1 or 2, and then the rest of the DMC are really fun.
I love a good monochromatic piece. I love it.
No. They're not monochromatic. They have 2 fancy flosses, and then the rest are DMC.
Oh, okay, no.
So they give you 1 or 2 areas where there's really fun variegation, but they don't cost $25 to kit up.
Okay, that's good too. Yeah.
Actually, I think you would actually really like that.
I would like that more.
Because you get to have one fun thing. But also if you put it in DMC, if you switch that to DMC, it's not a problem like you did for your peacock.
Yeah.
Like, because then it's not like you're like, oh, I'm going to try to have variegation on some, but not the rest.
Right.
All right. Frankie, go away. Oh my.
You jerk.
Okay. This next start is very small. It was a November start. This is Seaside Kingdom. I decided to do all the half stitches and I never went back. So technically I have 6 full stitches in this, but it's a row of half stitches. But I wanted to start in November, but then I didn't have enough time to spend on it, but I wanted to have it be a start. And this is on 32 count Vintage Whisper. And it lives in, Frankie is a jerk.
I can stop and put them all out.
No, that's okay. It lives in this martini bag from Tara from World of Women Crafts.
I'm very jealous.
And it, I'm stitching it with this 4.5 by 9-inch hoop. And the pattern was a gift from Donna from Stitch X Love. And the fabric was a gift from Jen Fiber Arts. And so this whole project is just friendship.
Nice.
And that's why, even though I didn't get to spend a lot of time on it, I wanted to get it started.
Yeah.
And I will spend this will be a great mirror to pull out next summer.
Yeah.
But it's not going to get finished in one set of months because it's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
All right, my next one is Secret Garden by Hello from Liz Matthews. This was a Patreon piece that came out last summer. It was my birthday start. This is in my plans to do for next year 1,500 stitches a month, so that'll be done on my birthday.
Love it.
I love it so much. It's on 28 count sand dollar by Stitch Me. I'm using the called for DMC. I don't remember if there was sometimes Liz Matthews does like an MPI and a DMC conversion, and sometimes she just does DMC, and I don't remember. But it lives in this Secret Garden Jasmine's Custom Bag, and I'm stitching it with my only queen hoop, and it's such a good one.
There's a needle on it.
The magnet is stuck to my needle minder magnet is stuck to it, and then the needle is stuck to that, so just a little.
You know where it is.
But this is one where I made pretty floss drops for myself. And it's a really pretty pattern. And this will be a fun one to finish as in a circular frame. All right. I have one more this go round.
Maybe you should do 5.
Okay.
Wait, I almost have 7.
This is Small Gift by Imaginating Art by Mary Engelbright. And I'm stitching this with Denise from Black Ribbon Stitch Studio and Colette the Highway Stitcher. And I did this in October, November. I thought I would get it out again during the Jingle Ball, and then I didn't get as much stitching during the Jingle Ball as I expected, so I only got the solar system work done. But I do want to keep this out as a fill-in project. Like, this is such a good birthday party fill-in project. Like, it doesn't need to go away.
Yeah.
Just because it's not on my rotation, it can just be out. Because like there are times when I can't work on the things I'm supposed to work on, but I can work on something, and this is like the perfect thing for that.
Nice.
And it lives in this Kaylee Tent Stitch little Christmas animals bag. And I'm stitching it with a 9 by 4.5 inch Duchess hoop on 14 count navy Ada by Zweigart. The call for is black. I just think navy is a little bit easier to see and a little bit can look a little bit more refined.
I think it's cool, yeah.
But it's not like substantially different.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
Okay. This was a birthday start from last year.
Oh.
It was given to me. The kit was given to me by my sister, and I have it on I did not use the kit anything other than the pattern. The fabric was anyway. I just preferred to just do it, but that means I restarted it a couple times.
She started it on the kit fabric, didn't like it. Started it with the kit floss on this fabric, didn't like the kit floss. Yeah. So she got the DMC because the kit. So we have an unboxing of this kit that I'll link to below. It's the Cinderella Disney Wishes Upon a Star Disney Dreams Thomas Kincaid kit. And some people really like that floss, but it's Candamar floss, so.
It was not working for me, so I just switched. These are all DMC now. Obviously didn't get very far. Only did it in January and then not again. But it's coming back in January, so I'll keep going. Maybe I'll get further this year.
You don't have to.
Well, it's so large for full coverage.
I'm just saying,
it's.
You've done
large.
bigger, but it's.
I have.
Yeah.
It's still a lot.
Yeah.
Because before, when I was doing big full coverage,
what if you're
that's all I was doing.
If you monogamously stitch this for a while, not in January, but like as like a monogamous project, because I think you'll just love having it in your room.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so looking forward to having it done.
It's so you.
But stitching it, make time for that.
All right. This is the solar system.
Oh, you got further.
So this is a solar system. I'm stitching it for my son's birthday. He did give me approval on it today. He likes what's happening.
Good.
He was like, "Oh, you're in Jupiter." I'm like, "Actually, I'm in Saturn. There's a couple stitches of Saturn." So the sun is now done. Mercury and Venus are done, and I'm working on these because like the way that I had my hoop, I just finished everything, and then I'm color completing the rest, so I'm doing more counting. I charted this myself from Wiki Free Art. I'm never going to sell this pattern, so I didn't clean up the charting, and there's some things I don't like, but I don't care enough to change it. There's like couple dark stitches where I'm like, why did I do that?
We're going to call it a sunspot.
But it doesn't matter. He won't care, and he likes it. And I'm going to frame it in an 8x10 frame. I charted it to fit in an 8x10 frame, and it's got to be done by the middle of January. But I want it done by the end of the year.
Coming up.
But it will. I only have 600 stitches left. The only thing is reason that might be more than one night of stitching, because normally I would just be like, well, I'll just push myself, is that it's a lot of counting because each planet has like 20 colors.
Oh, wow.
So to get the detail on it at the level, and also because they're not really truly circular on the, to make the circles, I didn't want to do back stitching or anything. So to get the effect, some of it, like, it just has a lot of color so that it kind of looks more pixely and not so harsh, that it's like not quite a circle. Like this planet has a corner, like, but they're different colors. So I thought about like, should I just pick a color?
Backstitches?
Well, backstitch would be fine, but I was like, if I pick a color, then I have to backstitch it. Whereas I think these show up more as just like art.
Yeah.
It's not a science diagram, it's an impressionistic.
That's true. And he's so nice.
He's giving me, he's in general, yes, he's so nice. About the solar system, he is not so nice.
Oh.
He's giving me notes. Jupiter's red spot was not prominent enough. Uranus is not the right direction.
Oh.
But I am getting approval on each planet as I go.
Okay, good.
Because I'm not going back. So, no.
I love that kid.
This lives with its giant, in this ragtag quilt art bag, and I'm stitching it with a 6-inch princess hoop, which was probably a stupid choice. I probably should have gotten a Q-snap where I could see the whole thing and not have to. I could have gotten away with a little bit more traveling, because this is the perfect. I can travel wherever I want on this fabric.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Now this might be a UFO.
Okay.
So this is Southern Seas Beauty. I started this for his birthday last year when he was obsessed with sharks. And now he doesn't really like them. So I was going to try to get this finished for his birthday this year.
Maybe you save it and Molly.
Well,
might be.
That's the thing. Is like there's a couple of aquatic themed projects that is like I like but don't love, and if they don't like them either, then do I want to work on them? But I'm not UFOing it yet, and I don't have the thread pack for this. I'm just using it like threads from Stash, a lot of variegated threads, but just Stash threads. But I'm not gonna try to hurry up and get it done by a birthday. That's what he wanted his stitches to go into. So he's getting no solar system. He's not getting himself as a scuba diver, but we'll see.
Funny.
I could make it just like I could just do a hair conversion so it looks more like my daughter, and just be like, you like Baby Shark, you'll probably have an ocean phase, but I also don't need to like hurry up and stitch it just to stitch it.
Yeah.
All right, and it lives in this yellow submarine cat bag that Kat from Whittier Stitches made me.
So cute.
And this is 32 count. Do you see what I see? By Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. This is the first piece of linen I ever bought myself. I didn't start it on it for a while, but
cool.
And I really like. I mean, I like it. It's just like, do I like it more than everything else? I don't know. But it's only 6,000 stitches. It wouldn't be like a giant commitment. I'm just gonna. It's not in my 2025 plans, and we'll see what my children are up to.
Yeah.
But I'm making my plans for the next year. All right. The next one is Spooky Skyline by Mod Cross. This was I got the pattern in Just Cross Stitch this year. It was free, but she also released it, Sarah released it as a pattern that you can buy as well. It was like a big deal, I think, actually at Market this year online marketplace for her this year. And this pattern is so good. And I knew I wasn't going to get much done on it, but I was excited to start. But yeah, like where would I have put a Halloween cat pattern in my house before? Would have been like a political issue.
That would have been an issue, yeah.
But now I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
So this is 28 count Nightshade by Stitch Me. It's so pretty. Next year I do want to get to the point where I can cut the fabric, because it would be. I have a lot of purples, but this one is a cool purple, and most of my purples are warm.
Yeah, I like it.
So there are things that will look good on this that wouldn't look good on the other ones and vice versa. So I want it And it lives with black cat season because obviously it's a black cat. It's got to live in my black cat bag.
And it's also purple.
And it's also, yeah, this is where the purple homes of my black cats go.
Love it.
All right. I don't know, but I'll do one more.
Yeah, do one more.
Okay. This is Stargazer by Mirabilia. She's in print. This is 32 count vintage country mocha. I started her in Mira May, but then I didn't get to pull her out in November. I know I just started her on a fat quarter and I didn't cut this fabric myself. And then when I pulled it out, it was fraying, and I started pulling the fraying to get it straight. Look how crooked. Look how crooked that piece of fabric was. This is just what I figured out last night by pulling some frayed things and realizing how badly I don't think it's a problem because of the way that Stargazer is charted to have all that stuff around her.
Yeah.
If it's like half an inch different.
Yeah.
But I do need to remind myself next time I pull her out just to double check that she'll still fit on this. And I also should probably do a whip stitch around it or something to make sure it doesn't fray anymore.
Yeah. That would be a good idea.
And it lives in this Carrie Sews For You Wamba bag. All right.
Okay. All right. Next, I have Stephanie showed hers, and this is my. I did dark golden delicious for the two kinds of delicious Sal. And she's right. The border is super fiddly, so that took me the longest, and I ran out of steam because it took me so long. And I was like, I started the house, and I was like, no. In fact, I think I made one mistake somewhere on the house, and I was so like over it that it's still there, and I'll figure it out later. And it's getting a little bit of a timeout.
Allison dyed that fabric herself.
All right, I dyed the fabric, and it's actually the kit fabric from my Cinderella, Wishes Upon a Dream, Thomas Kincaid one, and I love it. It is the thickest, like I've dyed it, and it's still the thickest, really stiff, just like really thick fabric, and I love it. It's an 18 count Ada.
All right, you already saw this from Allison, but this is my stitch for Pride. Since I saw it last, I finished November, and I started mine in June. This is by D20 Stitches. I started mine in June, so I am going back now and doing this Sriracha bottle for March, which ghosts a lot in the camera, but I think in person does.
In person is fine.
Yeah, especially when it's completely filled in. But my goal is to finish this by the end of the year, and I have a lot left because I'm starting the 2025 one in January, and I don't want this. And I already have a frame, and I want this up. So, like, I'm kind of sacrificing Christmas stitching because my heart is more with getting this done.
Sure.
Which I think is fine.
Yeah.
Because I'll do a lot of Christmas stitching over the year for my ornaments. And getting my Christmas tree up and stuff was really inspiring for next year for, like, what do I want? But right now I want to finish this. I'm stitching it with this 6-inch spring hoop, and it lives in this 805 stitcher bag.
Very cool.
Now, when I said, I've told you guys before, these are my kids' stockings. And I said, I just didn't know if I wanted to stitch this fall into them. And it was because we were changing what our family is going to look like. It also means I don't have to stitch him one. So next year I'm going to start mine, and they all three have to match, but I don't have to do a fourth to match. So what I'm doing is I'm making Prairie Schooler band samplers. So I have like a giant stack of Prairie Schooler patterns, and I'm just going to pick as I go down and do them at the same time so that they have the same size elements, and take notes so when I do mine, I can make them kind of like go. But basically it's birth year with a band and then a Santa, and then I'll just pull motifs all the way down to the bottom.
That's such a good concept.
I want them up next year, but I'm not sad that they're not up this year. Like, I think my Christmas display looks great, and I'm also very into the idea that, like, I don't need to have everything done. I need to have space to grow and make changes, and like, so, but I did not want to stitch this fall into those stockings.
Yeah.
It lives in my big Teresa Kogut Sandal workshop bag that Kat from Vineyard Stitches made for me. This is where all my Prairie Schooler stuff, Christmas stuff lives. But I did, since I FFO'd my finished Prairie Schooler Santa, I have this like half piece of fabric waiting for the next one, and I didn't start one this year, so but next year I will.
Do you
Or
already know which one?
no, but I might be. I want to see what next year's looks like too.
Yeah.
Because this year's I wasn't like my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I didn't commit to that because since I have to do 2 on there, and I'm doing on my stocking too, and now I get the good Santa, and I don't have to give my husband the good Santa. Because I picked out 4 that kind of went together. So anyway, because my kids are getting their birth years, but then our birth years are like the old ones, and they don't really go with the kids. So I picked out the other new ones. I get to now pick my favorite. Anyway,
That's nice.
freedom.
Yeah.
All right, so that was actually 2 whips, but it's on 1 piece of fabric. And then this is my other Fab 4 fan style piece. This is Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs, and I'm stitching it with the called for on 32 count vintage porcelain from Lakeside Linen. It's blowing out a little bit. It's basically the coolest, babiest pink, and it's really pretty for this, and I really love it. But I already told you guys all about that Sal, and it lives with its brother Blackbird in this strawberry bag.
Thanks.
Maybe if next June I have a roster opening for like my small finish category and I'm not working on something else, I pull this out for the Strawberry Moon Sal from.
Oh, yeah.
If Marjorie Maids hosts her Strawberry Moon Sal again, I could pull that out and try to get it finished.
Yeah.
All right, that was 4.
Okay. This is my Make It Murder Sal. Start. Not very far. I am doing, this is, I don't know what color this is. It's a mint green.
It's really pretty.
Adia. That I think is a 16 count. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So what I'm doing is I'm turning Seaside Tiny Town into a Dexter themed Miami seaside town. And I haven't like drawn out like square by square what I'm doing, but I have a general palette. Yeah, I have a palette like, and I've made room like this is where you can turn a house into a police station. And, like I know exactly what it's gonna look like. I just need to do it, and it was fun. I mean, this was fun and not hard, but I just haven't picked it up yet.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this though. I think it's gonna be amazing.
I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I'm a little worried. I started to. The margin is not great.
Depends. We don't know.
Yeah, the margin.
And also, if you decide to get it framed, you could always have, like, if you really love it, you want to get it framed, they can bump it out.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm really bad about margins.
That's why we did a video about it. But you haven't started anything since we did that video.
No, I have not. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. All right. This was a birthday start with Katrina from Tartans and Threads for her birthday. This is, oh my God, what is this called? Summer something. Summer celebration. That sounds right, but it also. Okay, the pattern has a name.
No.
Summer celebration. Summer in the Village. Summer in the Village. Summer celebration was in another piece I worked on at the same time by Hello from Liz Matthews. This is 28 count Athos by Tropical Stitches. I think it's so pretty for this. I'm using the OwlForest thread pack on it. And I made a bunch of counting errors in the middle of the street that I have to work my way out of, but I think they're isolated to the middle. And I think if I count off of this B for the next piece, then it won't be a problem. But I didn't get that far, but I will pull it out again this summer for her birthday. I think the Sal was like Summer in the Winter Sal or something cute because she lives in Australia. Oh. And so it was Summer in the Village, but she lives in Australia, so it wasn't her summer. I got to meet her on a Zoom for the first time at the Jingle Ball. It was really fun.
That's cool.
Here's the thread pack. I'm stitching it with this 8-inch princess hoop, and it lives in this Kathy's Posies summer cherry bag. All right. The next one is Summer Quaker. Everyone knows what this looks like. It's amazing. I'm stitching it on 36 count bisque, but I am stitching it 2/2. This is Lakeside Linen. I'm stitching it with the Call for DMC. I didn't get that far, and everyone's stitching this, and I love it, but everyone's stitching it, so you know all about it. And it lives in this Jasmine's Custom Bags.
That's so cute.
New England bag.
so on point.
that I got for it. All right. The next one is, sorry, we're getting out of the wire. This is the Azure Window. This is from my Game of Thrones Cross Stitch of Ice and Fire book. This was a Game of Thrones filming location. I was going to try to finish it this year, but I realized next summer, Night of the Seven Kingdoms is coming out on HBO, and I stitch these when I watch or when I listen to podcasts analyzing it for 10 hours a week. So I'll just pull this out next summer and work on it during that show. And then I probably will start something else from that book at some point too, because there are some bigger ones that I also would like to stitch. And it's stitched on 16 count Easy Grid Adia, which I love. And it lives in my Carrie Sews For You gnome bag that I love, even though I'm not a gnome person. Okay, this is the other piece on my UFO. This is the Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. It's really good, but over the Jingle Ball, I was talking to Tara from Wonder Woman Crafts, and she was joking with her friends about how, like, it's so big that it is its own unit of measurement. And now my kid's not super into deadly aquatic animals. I'm stitching it on 32 count Mirabilia by Jackson Fabric Art, so it is hemp. And I did not get that far because I conceptualized the Game of Thrones book and realized I needed to hurry up and stitch all those models if I wanted it to come out with the show. So I didn't get very far, and it looks so good. It's huge. It looks so good, but it's huge. And if my kids are not into the ocean, do I stitch?
It's not your passion.
I mean, I love the beach. I'm not super into crocodiles. You know what I mean? So I haven't decided. I'm not going to do anything about it right now.
Maybe I should do one. My husband is like, his one thing is he wants an aquarium, and I'm like, no.
You're like, okay, here's your deadly aquarium.
Here you go. I am against having one. I cannot.
If you actually wanted it, I would give it to you. But I don't think you want to do it on this.
I've never seen
it. And it's a PDF, so you have to buy the pattern.
Yeah, but that's...
Yeah. But do you want to stitch it on 32 count hemp?
No.
No, you don't. You should just do it if you want to do it. But also, I have a million ocean patterns you could look at. It's not the pattern. The pattern is super cool. It's just huge. And my kids no longer come up to me and tell me about the difference between whale sharks and orcas. Like, now he tells me about the difference between, oh my gosh, last night, was it last night where somebody said, oh, you could stand on, he said, like, the joke was like, it was Uncle Mac, said, he said, like, I'm standing on Jupiter, or I'm standing on Mars. And he goes, you could stand on Neptune. He goes, you can't stand on Neptune. It's a gas giant. You can't stand on a gas giant.
You can't do that.
Idiot is
Uncle
what his face was like. Yeah. Oh, my next one's really small. So Allison finished The Pumpkin House by Hello from Liz Mathis this year. So to celebrate that, I started it, but I didn't really have time to work on it. So I started the door of the top just to have my start. And it lives in my Allison inspired canvas project bag. And I'm stitching it with, I do love it. I'm starting Seaside next summer. I want all of the seasonal ones that are the 2 pieces of fabric. And I even asked Liz Matthews at the Jingle Ball if she was going to do a Christmas or winter one. And she said she is. So I love them all. And I have fabric for all of them. I just only have 30 stitches in the entire project.
Yeah.
I'm stitching it with this like 5-inch Duchess hoop. I'll do one more. Okay. This is The Scorpion and the Frog by Jed X Stitch.
That looks so good.
I dyed the fabric myself. I love it. I love this. I needed to work on it in November therapeutically, and it did help a lot. And I'll pull it back out again probably sporadically as the news hits me in different ways. But I love it. It lives in my neon hedgehog bag, and I'm stitching it with a 4.5 by 9-inch. It's so funny how often, I have so many different sizes of hoops, how often I go to a 9 by 4.5. It's just a good space.
Yeah, you have a preference.
It's just, but it's like, it's not what I would have guessed, but it's just like, I like to see things kind of horizontally laid out for my brain. And, but I also don't want to hold something really big, so it's kind of just nice.
Yeah.
We gotta keep going.
Okay.
I'm being late, he's gonna be mad, but that's fine.
I'm gonna go.
All
right. This goes this way. I don't remember which direction I started. think it goes this way. Sure.
I have 8 left. How many do you have
Let's go
left?
this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many do you have left?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh.
How many do you have left?
I think I have 8, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, that's fine.
We'll figure it out.
All right. So this is, what do you call it?
The Vineyard.
Okay, this is the Vineyard. It's a pattern by Stemming.
And I haven't released. I need to just release it.
I'm gonna show it just because.
No, it's great.
Okay,
I just mean that like I should release it and not like because it's huge.
It didn't take me a while to finish.
Yeah, but no, it also like it doesn't need a model for like it's big enough that like you can tell that the colors look good, but also they look good on your model.
Yeah. Yeah, they look really good.
It's a vineyard in Portugal. I love.
And I started a while ago before I found out that you can buy pre-gridded fabric. This is the worst thing in the world to do. If you have ever gridded your fabric before, it takes a whole day of stitching just to get the friggin' border lined up. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's like, and then if you get one off, you have to redo the whole thing.
It's awful.
Freaking awful. But I absolutely need a grid to do full coverage or else it's not going to do it. Like, it's not going to look what it's supposed to look like. So that's that. It's just 14 count Adia.
And I haven't released the pattern, but when I release it, I'll tell you guys.
Yeah.
All right, this is Song of the People by Told in the Garden, which is Marriott Levin Emblem, who also owns Lavender and Lace, did Butternut Road and is Nora Corbett's mom. I love this piece. I thought I was further done because I only have like 15,000 stitches left, but in my heart, I was like, I've done so much. Then I pull out, I was like, that piece of fabric is so big.
It's really big, yeah.
It's on 14 count summer khaki Adia, which is very close to the called for, but I don't think they make the actual called for anymore. And it lives in this Amish barn bag. And we're going to go pretty fast from here on out. And I'm stitching with this 12 by 6 inch princess hoop. Frankie, get off of my whips.
God, it's not okay.
All right. You guys have seen this recently. I haven't done anything on it since the last time I showed it last week. This is Touching the Autumn Sky by Mirabilia. This will be a big focus for February. And I'll pick it back up in February and then I'll stitch on it every month a little bit till it's done. Because I borrowed the pattern, it's out of print, I borrowed the pattern and I want to return it. It's on 32 count Vintage Whisper by Swigert, and it lives in this Carrie Sews For You. No, Kathy's Posies bag, and I'm stitching it with a spring top but 9 by 4.5 inch hoop. Right. So this next one is Turkey Day, which I also showed recently because I started on Thanksgiving to officially start it on Thanksgiving. And I only did 100 stitches just to have the start. But this is by Cottage Garden Samplings. I'm doing it on 28 count. I've been so good. I've known every fabric, and I can't remember that one.
You've done way better than me.
Well, I looked them all up last night because some of the ones I hadn't touched in a while, I was like, I'm not going to remember.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I just remember them always, but Cauldron by Picture This Plus, which was inspired by Laura from Wallaby Stitches, who did hers on this fabric, and it's so good. And it lives in this pumpkin pie and pie bag, but this bag maker doesn't make bags anymore. All right. This next one is Waiting for Ships. This is an out-of-print Mirabilia from the 90s. And I didn't get it to pull her out in November, but I'll pull her out more next year. She's my leap day style, so she's got to be done by 2028, February 2028. And she's wonderful. I'm doing her on 28 count Vintage Parrot by Lakeside Linen. And she lives in this Golden Familiars Stitch and Go case. That is Art Deco Mermaids. And Renee from the Golden Familiars lives really close to us. And
like not just the same city, like literally.
And if I had a social life that revolved not around toddlers, I'm sure I would love to meet her one day. She's very active in the stitching community here. But that's so cool. Okay, let me do one more just in case.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
This is
three.
Water Lily Dragon by Jed X Stitch. My daughter's birthday is in 9 days. This was supposed to be done by then. I don't think it's going to be done by then, but I also don't think she'll notice if it comes a couple weeks late because she's turning 2. This is 28 Count Gray Magic by Stitch Me. And it lives in a repurposed cosmetic case. Oh, and I'm stitching it with the tiniest little
Whoa, that is tiny. Actually,
princess hoop. Yeah. That's like a 4-incher.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to leave in 5 minutes. So Allison's going to finish her 2 projects. Then I'm going to keep my stack out and do these when I get home and I'm editing tomorrow. And Allison knows all about these projects.
Yeah. Okay. This is my Mill Hill. It's a Mill Hill kit. Did not use paper because that's stupid. Or for me, it was stupid. I haven't gotten very far. I was
green Ada.
Yeah, it's green Ada. It's not. It's old Ada though.
Yeah.
It's like Charles Craft or something. And I'm not very far on it, but it's gonna be fun when I get to the beads. And this one,
oh, it's looking so good.
it's called Rocky Mountain
Bear Lake.
Oh.
It's Bear Lake at Rocky Mountain National Park.
Okay, so it's Stephanie's pattern, obviously. But I'm not done. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to be done a while ago.
There's no deadline.
Okay, no deadline. That's excellent. But I really like it. It's gonna be gorgeous when it's done, because you can already tell how beautiful that landscape is, and it's just easy graded. Love it. Okay, this one I'm counting as one, because if you can do it, I can do it.
Just in case it deletes in the middle.
Okay. All right. So I'm counting this as one. That's a finish. We're ignoring that one. This is, it's Satsuma Street, 12 Days of Christmas. They are individual, not a whole one. So this is 8 maids of milking. And I only got the 8 and the cow. So, and then I really wanted a new start. So I guess we'll count it as a new start. Really wanted it. Didn't have any idea why I picked this one. Other than, I think it was like near me and I was like mad. So this is the start. Where'd it go? Oh. This line right here. This line right here. That's the start of, I don't know which one I picked because there are 12 of them. It does not matter. So does it count?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really care. It's fine. It'll get done.
Okay, so the battery died yesterday and I had to leave, so I didn't have time to wait 10 minutes to film another couple minutes. So I'm just gonna go through my last 3 whips, and then we tried to film like a waving goodbye, just like, and then that's when my phone died. So I'll wrap it up at the end. Okay, so I have 3 whips left. This is Whimsy Witch's Angry House by Teresa Kogut. I'm stitching it on 28 Count Platinum by Zweigart. Platinum is the called for fabric, but it's called for, I think, in 40 count, so I'm doing it 2/2. And I replaced the Weeks Gray with Classic Colorworks Argyle Socks, which was inspired by Katie the Novel Stitcher, and it lives in this Jasmine's Custom Bag little, I don't know if she's got pet spiders. I don't know if she actually is a witch, but it's so cute. And I love her. I stitched this during Agatha All Along, and it was lovely. And I hope to do that again next year. And I'm stitching it with this 6x12 princess hoop. And I think I am going to go through, I thought I would do it for this Wip Parade, but then I didn't have time. I need to go through and take out any like whips that aren't going to get worked on like in Q1. I need to take out all their hoops and stuff. All right, now this one is so close to being finished. I only have 1,100 stitches left. This is the Witch's Cabinet by Witch's Garden Crafts. I'm stitching it on 28 count even weave in Lavender Twilight or Lavender Mist. I can't remember. This was a stitch along in 2023 during October where a motif came out every day, and I only have a few left, and then I have to decide what I want to do. I think I'm going to change the font for the words at the bottom. I might, at the bottom it says a Witch's Cabinet. I might take that out and just put some like feet for the cabinet that kind of look maybe like this but slightly bigger or something, but I really like it. And it lives in this Carrie Sews For You demon cat bag with a, and then, okay, this is my last whip. So you guys have seen this a lot recently. This next whip is on my list to do 2 strands a day throughout next year until it's done, because it's Within a Dream by the Artsy Housewife. And that's where I am. I have more of the white done, but it's going to get surrounded by this green. So I have more in here than you can probably really tell. Not like a ton, but I have some of the letters in there. So this is the piece that I'm doing as a memorial to my dog, Lucy, who passed away at the end of October. So I'm not going to tell the story of Lucy just because, like, I don't tell it every video, but it's the last 11 minutes of the Ask Us Anything. You're welcome to go hear about my love of my dog Lucy and kind of what happened. I'm stitching it with this 6-inch Duchess hoop with the called for Gentle Arts. There were a couple other brands called for that I subbed for different Gentle Arts. I won't give out my conversion anymore because I think my gray substitute was really good, but my other substitute wasn't that great. So it's fine. Like, it works for me, but it's not, I would pick a different sub. And it has like 4 DMC that I'm also using. And it lives in this Lake House Stitch Co bag. That's all appropriate for the somberness of the piece. And I will love the piece when it's up in my house. But I didn't want to do, like, there's so many good Rainbow Bridge pieces for lost pets, but I wanted something that I could just have up all the time without being asked about it. But that was like appropriately themed to a memorial piece. So I really love this one. This was on the Artsy Housewives Patreon last year. A couple people have asked me if it's available. I'm guessing she'll release it next year, but I don't know if she has like a particular amount of time that she waits between Patreon and releasing, because her Patreon's only been around since April. So I don't think any of them have been released. All right, so we did film that little goodbye clip. I'll start it here because it's kind of funny. All right, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. I will wrap this up, so you'll have already heard me wrapping it up at home. All right, so if you made it to this point in the video, leave any flag emoji, waving the flag during the parade, as our secret language that you made it this far. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I'm excited about the Shop Cash extra that we have coming out on Thursday, especially if you don't know anything about it. It's not going to save you like $1 million, but it might save you a little bit and help funnel a little bit more money to our LNSs, who we love so much, and ONSs, who we love so much. And then we have lots of fun stuff coming up in the new year. So again, thank you so much for joining us, and and then bearing with the dead battery / carpool pickup time situation. And thanks so much. Bye.